Just like always, adult audiences only, and anything could happen. I mean, you know what I mean. Like anything could be brought up. We talk about all sorts of subjects, so like trigger warning for anything and everything. You know what I mean? If you're like sensitive to like anything, I don't think a lot of my lives are for you. But I want to preface this by saying what I'm getting ready to say, I think is applicable to all women, okay? No matter what you think they are, pretty or not. Myself personally, I genuinely find beauty in all people. Like, I mean that. Like, even if it is something about like how much life they have lived, scars can add character. You know, at least these are the things but, like, when we were coming up, I am 38 years old. I think it was, like, those kinds of things, like, flaws were a little bit more of course, there was, like, airbrushed photographs and the perfect "Hey, Keith, how are you doing?" Keith said, "Good evening as words of truth unveils a veil into our deepest peace and comfort with every healing breath." Yes and yes. Thanks, Keith. How are you doing tonight? Um, I think that it's getting more so to the point where we're trying to be like absolute perfection. It just kind of freaks me out. Like, this is one good example I always think about. Like, when we were growing up, I didn't have braces personally, but I remember hearing people say that their parents didn't want to leave their braces on it, like literally as long as possible until their teeth were like 100% perfect because they wanted them to have a little bit of character to their smile, and now it's like I don't think anybody would ever say that now, in my opinion, and, like, maybe that has something to do with the orthodontist's influence, but, like, the trend is for everything to be as perfect as possible, even to the point where it's, like, uncanny, and so I wanna say this again, what I am getting ready to say, I feel holds true to all women. I think all women are beautiful. I think all people have at least one beautiful trait that if you like a lot of us, I used to be like this, are so judgmental and we zero in on people's flaws. And instead of doing that, you can train yourself to do the opposite and be like, what is unique about this person? Because I just think like what makes us unique is so beautiful, and, like, when you can, like, see somebody's heritage in them, it's so neat, and you, like, see certain features in multiple I don't know. I just I love, looking at people and finding, like, their own unique character, and we're losing that as people get all this plastic surgery, which, like, personally, I don't wanna judge anybody who's gotten it. Personally, I am against it. First time I ever went to an ENT, I really feel bad for people that, like, watch me regularly. I'm like a grandma that repeats the same stories over and over, I know. I was going because of my ears. He tapped on the bump of my nose, and he said, "I can fix that for an extra $2,000." Automatically, "You know you have a deviated septum." I'm like, "Yeah," like, I wasn't there for my nose. And, so I'm leading into, once again, what I'm getting ready to say, I feel like applies to all women, okay? I don't think that, like, I'm more special, that I'm prettier, and I titled it "Losing Pretty Privilege" because I know I'm not to most people as pretty as I used to be, and that's fine with me. I think that I feel the same way about my husband as he does about me. When you love somebody and you're in a long-term relationship with them, their attraction to you is all that matters. And like your love for them grows. And I'll never forget this. Like, see, I do dye my hair. I have dyed my hair once since I started getting all this white hair, right? And when I asked my husband before I dyed it that initial time, I was like, what do you think about me dying? Like how I kind of like it's getting to the point where I have so much, I think I'm gonna dye it now. And he got tears in his eyes and he said, "When I see your white hair, I don't see you getting older. I see all the years we've spent together." Trust me, that moments like that don't happen every day, but when they do, they sure as heck make up for a lot of other shit. And we all put each other through shit. You know what I mean? As I keep saying, the longer you are married, the easier it should get. That's the goal, right? Of course, there's special circumstances and situations where that just isn't possible. But once again, this is true for all women. What I'm getting ready to say, I believe there's beauty in all women, like and men too. But let's be real, more women can be so beautiful. And I just felt compelled to talk about some of these things. Yeah, I have a deviated septum. I had a ceiling tile fall on my nose. I'm getting ready to talk about all and my teeth aren't like perfectly highlighter white. I don't. get like, do people not live in the real world? The average Caucasian doesn't have highlighter white teeth. That's mostly in like African people. I can't whiten my teeth because I got veneers because I was falling into those like very strict beauty standard myself. And the dentist duped me into paying veneers that were like $1,500 a piece that were actually temporary laminate veneers. And he told me they were real ceramic. And he had thyroid cancer. And like, I don't know what has happened to him since then. He gave me like a partial refund when I went back to complain to him. Anyways, um, India, I like to leave the trolls up because they kind of do, they bring more people to my channel with their incessant nagging because they have nothing else going on in their life and they're literal losers with everything. So at least they can be beneficial in that way, and it shows what I'm getting ready to talk about. But India, I appreciate you. I understand where you're coming from, and I know that you're trying to be helpful. I just wrote a top 10 list of like, what, see, people think that pretty privilege is a thing, even. That's what I wanted to make it about, but I just knew it'd be infiltrated with, I was going to title it something that's like acknowledging, I know I'm getting older because you literally can't age as a woman. So if I just said something about like the truth about pretty privilege or something, I'm sure every other fucking comment would be a bunch of emotional males. Emotional incels that don't know how to act, that are the exact kind of whiny babies that take no accountability for anything that they seem to think all women are, but they are turning into being that. But the reality is, like, that is part of it too, right? I have top 10. I'm just going to get into it. 10. Everyone assumes that when you have it, whatever it is, because everybody, it's subjective. Everybody's standards to what makes a woman pretty or beautiful is different. No matter who you are, you're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. The most beautiful women in the world, there's going to be some man out there that says she's not that hot. You know what I mean? Like Tyra Banks. Oh, she's not that hot. Like Cindy Crawford. There's some dipshit out there that's gonna like try to nag her down because that's just the rule of the law. It's just the way that things are. Like I'm getting ready to get into. That's why your life isn't easier. People assuming that your life is easier because of how you look on the outside makes your life not easier. 9. You're a moving target for the worst kind of people. Jealous females, jealous males, jealous gay males. I'm not all gay men. I'm just saying, like, you're a moving target. You're literally like a target practice for people that like have shit to shoot. And same thing with bad male, manipulative males, men that like literally go after everything that moves. It's in excess. Once again, these are true for all women, all women. Where I'm coming from with the pretty privilege is like it is excessive in my opinion. And once again, I know I've aged. I know I'm 38 years old. I'm completely fine with being 38 years old. I'm completely fine with not bleaching my teeth to the point where I'm harming my enamel. So I have highlighter white teeth. So like everybody and their brother doesn't. I live in Kentucky. Most people in Kentucky don't even have like half their teeth. No offense to anybody. I'm missing a few of my molars too. But I'm just saying I'm pretty proud to have most of my teeth. I like, and they're all good right now, like they're doing well. My gums are doing, your gum health is so important. It's like even more important. Like if you don't have good gum health, so it's like, I've just been through so much. I'm missing a lot of gum and jawbone right here. It created a hole in my sinus. I've had repaired twice, a literal hole in my gum that communicates with my sinus. They have to put a collagen plug up in there, and that like made my face more swollen than getting molars pulled. But anyways, yeah, people assume your life is easier no matter what. You're a moving target for the worst kind of people. 8, making friends is harder with both genders. Okay. And like, once again, don't cry for me. This is just like people think that you have some kind of privilege when this is all that it entails. And like if you're a confident person, like a pretty woman isn't going to like, I don't know, like I feel like I'm one of the I can make friends with pretty women. I'm never ever like I usually my friends I feel like I have always been really close to like attractive, like attracts like. But it can be harder, especially right off the bat, especially in initial situations. You get like this 7, you get taken less seriously at work. Not all the time. Once again, these aren't absolutes, but I feel like it happens more when people just think that everything good happens more because you were genetically gifted in some kind of way. It's not true. You get treated unfairly at work. This is number 6 by fellow employees and customers alike. Like there's going to be special treatment by some, yes. And a lot of that is creepy and it doesn't really serve you any. Like I had this creepy manager when I was 17 years old as a waitress at Denny's third shift. He would, like, burn CDs for me, and he was never outwardly inappropriate, but I always knew he obviously, like, had a thing for me, it's just, like, constant shit like that, and you'd be like, "Oh," like, that it really, like, it isn't fun, it isn't, nice to feel like people are always, like, trying to get a piece of you, and I know that, like, people are gonna be like, "Oh, boo-hoo," but some people will get it. People zero in on flaws, this is number 5, are more likely to point out your flaws. I know this happens with everybody, but I swear when you're a good looking person, people like the ENT tapping on my nose. I could take care of that bump for an extra $2,000 if I fix your deviated septum. Perfect example. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. If I looked different, I feel like he wouldn't have done that. And at the time, like 23-year-old Lydia, like I really did take that to heart more than now looking back, now that I've lost some of my pretty privilege, I look back at pictures of me then and stuff and I like see, okay, now I get what all the fuss was about. And yeah, that's it's not a good feeling to have people constantly, and I mean it. People probably think I'm exaggerating. I am not. It happened literally dozens of times, dozens and dozens of times. I'm not kidding. And I was in South Florida. I was in Miami for God's sake. It's like, if it's gonna happen anywhere there a lot, it's gonna be there. So many people said, "Lydia, you would be so pretty if you got your nose done and your boobs done. Oh my gosh, you'd be so pretty." Men and women alike, probably like half and half. It wasn't like all men. And that was like, when it was just becoming like normalized about 20 years ago, like that's when it like, I mean, you know, it was really, like, more mainstream, like, the average person was getting it done. There's just all these shows growing up just showing people going and getting their boobs done. "I had a few kids, I nursed them, now I'm gonna go get my boobs done," and, like, they just show that shit to us on TV. That's fucking evil, I'm sorry. I think that's all rancid. It's a part of the decay in society. We should have been teaching kids, to love each other and their bodies no matter what you go through. Your health is a special gift, and, like, I don't think anybody should be going under the knife for anything, like, recreational unless you've had some kind of horrible disfiguring disease or accident. That is the exception, and that's when plastic surgery started, was for like people that had for horrible war injuries. Number 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, people just freely comment on your appearance so much, okay? Like it's ridiculous. I feel like it happens more. I just want to stress that. Number 4, getting followed. Once again, this happens to all women. You don't have to be considered conventionally attractive or pretty for all of these things to happen to you, but it happens in excess. I've been followed. I used to be before my hair got white and my teeth got yellow and I got these lines on my forehead. I used to be followed so many times. See why I'm glad? I've said this story before too a lot. When I was 14 years old in Hialeah, Florida, that is the suburb of Miami, a man tried to push me into a gas station bathroom as I was exiting. It was the kind of bathroom that was on the outside of the building, and all of a sudden he's like trying to push me in, and I just kept myself against the door, and I like wedged myself. This was like this huge bodybuilder type man. When I was 14 years old, I looked more like a 12-year-old too, okay? Like it was fucking sick. And I remember being in shock. I was with my dad. My dad would have lost his shit. My dad yelled at other men on a regular basis, "She's only 14." Like that happened on a regular basis. My dad noticed this because this is one of my points. It starts at 11, okay? I already you and like even him as a man, he would notice other men doing it too. It's absolutely disgusting. Getting followed is fucking creepy, especially when you are the lesser strong bodied person, typically more so, most often, I mean. So yeah, that's fucking scary. And like, are you starting to get why a lot of women are kind of jaded and maybe act a little unfairly to all the men that they encounter after this shit happening? Just like every time you leave the house as a young woman, I'm not exaggerating. And I wasn't going to the club. I'm talking about like going to Walmart, going to work, pumping gas stations. Oh my gosh. Number 3, you'll get more attention, antagonizing negative attention, such as being constantly told how old you are. I know I'm middle aged, and it's not an insult to me when a juvenile person points out that I'm getting older. I've been married for almost 16 years, 16 years in January, and, like, I mean it with all my heart, and this is how I think it should be in a healthy marriage. My husband is the absolute only man I want to be attractive for, and I worry about being attracted to, and I am attracted to myself. Homer Dude, thank you so much, Homer Dude. I appreciate you. I'm sorry if you said hi in the chat and I didn't see you. I haven't been looking in the chat much, you can probably tell. I'm going to look in the chat once I'm done with my notes. I'm sorry I didn't say that. To anybody that's new, I get through my notes. Thank you, Homer Dude. I really appreciate you. And how are you doing, Homer? Mr. Carey is in here. I didn't see that either. See, I haven't looked at all. How are you, Mr. Carey? So number 3, more antagonizing negative attention. This includes the transgender comments. First of all, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with being transgender. I know I've said certain comments. I have one members only video about the difference between a transgender brain and a male or female brain. And to give it away, there's no such thing as like transgenders have the brain of the person they identify with. That's just not true when you look into it. Like the only real big okay, there are tons of differences between male and female brains, but in short, the real big one is like a man's brain tends to be bigger by volume. Duh, you know. Men have like more neurons in certain areas, and it's like then there's certain areas where women have more neurons in those areas. And you know what? It can vary from person to person. It isn't so cut and dry. Like all women have neurons here like this because they're a woman. It can vary from person to person. So this all like, anyways, I don't think that anybody, okay, maybe so. I don't hold anything against any transgender person, and I just think it's really interesting that it's used like as an insult at the same time. Like you could never like say something to a transgender person, and I'm just gonna say something trigger warning, adult audience only. Um, eh, okay, Odin, do you show your face or your teeth? I'm just like I think a lot of these people that have transgenders on the brain, I know there could be exceptions, but I think a lot of them are watching the sissy adult corn. If you have no idea what that is, they're literally a CEO of Cornhub was like joking around about how he wanted to change the SE actuality of men. And this is a whole other topic, and it's very adult. And I'm sorry to anybody that I'm like I'm sorry. But like, yeah, I think a lot of these people they sit behind a screen, they end up watching a lot of content centered towards men, trying to feminize them, and they've just like got it on the fucking brain, and that's part of the problem. And just whatever it is, whatever the motive, whatever the reason, if it's purely trolling, because I think that it's like the biggest insult to a woman who, as I mentioned, has been like followed and had tongues wagging over her and just been like followed by dogs her whole fucking life. And that's part of why too I think that they do it because they see somebody and they're jealous of that attention. And once again, it's like number one, people automatically assume that your life is easier because of, and I'm not saying there are no benefits. I get it. Like I think it's like a lot of my coloring gets me in the algorithm. I don't think I'm like such a beautiful, gorgeous woman. I think it's like my dark hair, my light skin, my light eyes. I'm like a playing card. Baby's like black and white, like playing cards. And that's what I am to people. The contrasting of my features catches the eye. I don't think I'm like such a beautiful woman. But yeah, before I die, I'm gonna try to take that to my advantage and make some money off of YouTube, Google AdSense. And any of you all that are like jealous over people and like spin your wheels going in different lives trying to tear them down like lobsters in a bucket on like any people that do that, they're purely jealous. They really are. Like Odin sitting here in the chat, if he didn't like what he saw, because men like that, they'll only say like this one YouTuber that made a video about me and he's like, what why would I want to look at that? And he's talking about like how my like I something about how I look sourpuss or something. I'm like always smiling. And it's like, yeah, why would I want to look at that? Is like the attitude of, and I admit I even used to be more like that myself. I would see a woman that was getting older that wasn't so conventionally attractive, and I would automatically think about her flaws. And that's like, why does it matter? Why does it matter what a woman looks like, first of all? Like, why does it matter? It's crazy how picked apart women are and how we aren't allowed to age. And I will gladly be a representation of aging gracefully, especially for young women, because that's who I care about the most is like young people. But like, especially the young women. It's just crazy. You see what 20-year-olds are doing with the fillers and the Botox. They're making themselves look like they're in their 30s before they're even in their 30s, because that's what they told us. They lied to us and said maintenance is important. I remember being told you need to start the anti-aging creams in your 20s, and now they're coming out with more evidence. Like the more shit you put on your face, like these people that layer, like you shouldn't do more than 4 layers, is like what I've heard most recently. Because it can start to like have a bad effect in combination. um I'm sorry, my sinuses are horrible tonight. Keith, all our comments bring all the trolls to the yard. But we have to charge. You are so funny, Keith. That was great. Thank you for that comedic relief. See this, Eddie. Even if this is a troll comment, this just shows like the mentality that is taking place. And old women can't bear children. That's their only value. My uterus got taken out. I don't want any more children. I was a diseased, damaged goods, Eddie. Did you know that we're one of 3 species on the planet that even goes through menopause? And that is an evolutionary trait because women have so much to offer that Mother Nature said, we're going to stop your fertility because you are needed in so many other ways for your community. And, it's the men that get older and their sperm degrades. And, anyways, I don't want to make this about men versus women, but, okay, I am going to block Odin because he's a fucking loser. You could at least come up with something new. If you were clever and had some wit about you and actually like said something different. Um, hey, Boston George, how are you? Nathan said, I hate makeup. Nathan, are you married? I'm sorry if that's too personal. I can't remember if you shared that with us or not, but I do understand, like, especially the makeup nowadays as like special effects makeup, like the way women contour their faces and add like it's great. I did my makeup like a French woman. You guys, men probably aren't interested in this, but for the women, basically, it's like, yeah, you put concealer under your eyes and then you put blush on and you just put like powder, which is, I kind of did that when I was younger. There's no like foundation all over your face. Especially the older you get, the more it just like settles into, especially you put blush on like so much of your cheeks that covers most, or not most, like a fourth of your face. But anyways, the older you get, the more the makeup settles in your fine lines and wrinkles and crepey skin, old lady skin. It makes you look even older. Gosh, I can't remember her name. There's this great woman. It's pissing me off. I can't remember her name now, but I found a great channel for like middle-aged women in makeup tips. She's helped me like stuff I wish I would have known 20 years ago, just like tips on how to line your lips and stuff. But I think, yeah, in my opinion, makeup should be to enhance one's natural beauty. It shouldn't be to make you look like a different person. Keith, I have a defense against the dark arts webinar on Wednesday at 12 Central Time for trolls, scammers, and predators. Hi, Identity, how are you? I create a sense of peace everywhere I go, or without the title, Keith said. Oh, look, Odin has multiple profiles. How original. That's not something that people who don't have lives do. Um, A-hole. I used to laugh at the sandwich comments. Once again, it's just getting old now. Can you guys come up with like different aren't you supposed to be smarter, funnier, better than women in every way? Can you come up with like men can impregnate women in their 80s. Yeah, but did you know that they're finding out more and more that it's the man's sperm that degrades more after the age of 30 than the woman's egg? Look it up, Nathan. It's a real thing. And you can't tell me that these in vitro doctors haven't connected the dots. I'm sorry. I just had this whoosh. I know I could be wrong. I'm not God. I'm just saying we're just like talking kitchen table talk. Like they had to have noticed, in my opinion. I think they probably noticed that these old rich men, because who can afford the in vitro? Mostly men with money, mostly older men. It's like red pill nonsense. It's like so imbalanced. Like I would never tell my son, sow your wild oats, wait till you're 35 years old, find a 21-year-old to settle down with. Like it doesn't make any sense. I think young, hot people deserve to be with other young, hot people. Like I'm so glad I got with my husband when I was 19 and he was 21, and we got to know each other in that young stage of our lives, and I'm sorry, like I always say stuff like that, and then I think about people who like wanted that and didn't get that, and I don't want to hurt any feelings, but in another lifetime. Mr. Carey, I didn't mind, but, like, the teeth thing, the, like, constant teeth thing, like, I really like, after everything I've been through with my teeth, like, nothing anybody could say about them. The fact that they're not in pain every day and I don't have a hole in my gum, is the only thing that matters to me. It's just kind of lame. And, somebody said this and it stuck with me. It's like when somebody is really, like, antagonizing you and going after your looks like that, as adults, especially, like, kids are just kids, but when you're an adult doing it, it's because they saw something they liked and they wanted to keep nagging you down. Men do that to women do it to men too. They do. Women are becoming more like men in all the bad ways possible. And what needs to happen is men need to evolve and be more like women. But because everybody's so misogynistic, that's like so far fetched because it's the worst thing in the world to be a woman, even though we are definitely more emotionally intelligent. We're better, once again, we have better outcomes when we're surgeons. Our fine motor skills are better. And like people say this shit about us being pilots and stuff. It's like we have better hand-eye coordination. Like women just don't have brute strength. And like I think that it's like we are very talented in a lot of ways because we are the smaller statured body. We're like making up for the fact that we aren't as strong like in nature when you think about why would women develop these skills more so than men, It's kind of like because we had to. Chris, I was born in Louisville, and they say Louisville has more of like a Midwestern accent than, there's people that are born around here, South Central Kentucky, that don't have an accent at all. And then there's some that are very Southern. Like, Bill said, Lydia, in my opinion, you're a very nice woman and your family is very lucky to have you. And you talk about things that other people don't. And what if you talk about what you talk about helps someone? I say, great job. Bill said, Bill, that's so sweet of you. And that's what I think too. And like, I appreciate all you guys. I really do. I appreciate everybody that sticks with me. But I really think about women and how little these things are brought up. And like I mean, I have no shame. Like I keep saying, I know you guys want to see me when I was younger. I have pictures of I showed on my members only live. And no, I know I wasn't like a beauty queen, but I mean, I was a very, you know. I don't think it's that far-fetched that oh, look how white my teeth were, Odin. Look at those white teeth before dentistry fucked them up. Dentists are the worst. Let me try to see. It's hard because they're all like so little. And here's my body when that guy told me I didn't have an hourglass shape. Like this was like within a year of that guy saying that to me. This is what men do, negging down women. Yeah, I'm skinny, small, but I don't know. I see a little bit of an hourglass there, and no offense, but yeah, I do mean offense. I don't think he ever had like a nice physique himself. So once again, it's like the constant comments. Yeah, this is kind of washed out. You can't see my big nose as much, but you get the idea, right? My hair was dyed like that black blue there. I did a lot of crazy stuff with my hair. And so like um yeah, and so many people are so quick to point out that I have aged, and my comeback is always like, I am glad to have aged. I welcome this stage in my life. I want to be an example for other women of all ages on how to do it gracefully and how to like combat the ageism. It is absolutely ridiculous that you have more to offer the older you get. And you are more calm. If you develop properly, you know what I mean? You only age better. You get better with age. And when these men that want young women, it just floors me. Ask my husband. I don't I don't think like most men like would not that it matters what I was just about to say was like I was wrong. I'm just going to say it. It most people would prefer Lydia at 38 than Lydia at 22. I guarantee it. We all have our shit to work out. And I like this shows the emotional immaturity of men when they're like I want to be 35 and settle down with a 20-year-old. There's completely different life arenas unless you never developed emotionally and you're stunted in your own growth, then you would be okay with being with somebody that's barely not a child. And so I said earlier to somebody, like, it's this weird thing. Oh my gosh, I forget her last name. Byrony. Is it Byrony Claire? I know that's a weird name. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but Byrony something like Byrony. She's a really pretty blonde, I think British chick that makes She's a commentary channel. I wish I remembered her name. If anybody knows who I'm talking about, she just did a video the other day. I'm sorry, I'm missing. Hey, Pyramid, how are you doing? I'm glad I just scrolled. I saw her video and it was titled "The Perfect Woman is a Child." And like the thumbnail, everything about it, all of her commentary, it was so perfect because it's true. It's like a lot of people and women play into it. So once again, it's not just men being evil men oppressing us. It is somewhat that, but it's like a lot of women are also misogynistic and play into all these hierarchical shit. Like it, and it's but then again, it's like at a certain point when the world, when the whole system is built this way, like what do you do? I wear makeup. I'm gonna dye my hair, like, and I'm always conflicted whenever stuff, like that happens. And it's just interesting to me, the women like Pamela Anderson, like some of the most beautiful women like her that just like, yeah, I think in my opinion, she's just like got older and she got to the point where she's like, well, I'm never gonna be what I was. So I'm just completely get, which is fine. I don't think there's a problem with that. I just think it's so interesting, these dynamics that take place. And you might think that a lot of people are like, but why doesn't she put some makeup on? She could be so much prettier, even though she is older. She could be pretty for her age, right? You look good for your age, right? And like men, and it is true, like men do just often get better with age. Like their features get better. Progesterone, stop hormone. Remember, I said it's a stop hormone, it's a stop growth, and you lose that as you get older. This is why older people have big ears and nose. They have less progesterone in their systems. I think that's super interesting. So, anyways, I've wondered about all my body parts and their sizes and how my hormone imbalances have played into them. Um, your YouTube is sticking. Okay, I'm really going to get into the chat for a little bit now. Um, There's always somebody saying, "I need to come up with, like, the common insults," because you guys literally have such a hive mind because you're all in the same echo chambers, I'm assuming, and you all literally have the same insults. "Oh, I bet your husband." My husband works his literal ass off, and he's actually in the chat right now, you dipshit. How about that? God. Yeah, he works his ass off. As soon as he got out of the shower, he called me and he's in the chat with us right now because he can't get enough even after 18 years. Hot take. Most men are scared of approaching women, Anthony said. Oh, Anthony, I don't disagree with that. In this climate, especially, I, yeah, I would be afraid to approach a woman if I was a lesbian, the way that women are. So I hope you understand if you heard my top 10 list, like I just listed off 10 reasons why women act the way that they do. And I am not giving reasons, I'm giving excuses, basically. It's not right. It doesn't make it fair to treat a fellow human being like a piece of shit. Like, I don't agree with that. And that's one reason I love Kentucky. We're all nice to each other here. We all call each other honey and baby and sweetheart and darling. It's just like the norm. There's things that I think like fly around here. Nobody ever touched me at work. You know what I mean? I always waitressing jobs. There was always like guys would always find an excuse to like put their hand on the small of your back and stuff like that. Once again, like that's something that happens to women, all women with a beating heart. You know what I mean? That's how some men are. But I just listed off 10 reasons why. It starts at the age of 11. Did I even get all the way through to it? I didn't. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. Number two, I'm so sorry. Getting treated differently by medical staff. Once again, this can happen to anybody, but I just feel like it happens in excess. I could have spent an hour talking to you about why I feel like I got treated differently in different situations. It's gone from like actual, like taking my heart and then, literally putting the thing like down, like touching my under boob for no good reason. A doctor did that once, and I was just like, what do you do? Do you complain about that? Like, I know he did that on purpose. He felt me up on purpose. And he's like, "You look like a family friend of mine. What's your heritage?" And fucking several instances like that where you don't know what to do. I had a trigger warning gynecologist, and I did complain. I complained literally as soon as I left the office, made me cramp and bleed, putting his literal whole fist in me to check my cervix when I was pregnant. Not kidding. That's one reason I home birth. These things happen to women And, like, I'm sorry, like, I don't want to insult anybody. I just think if I was, like, a different person in a different bracket, it might not have happened, and that like, that and it's like, these are the things that happen because of pretty privilege. You get literally, like, fondled by doctors and shit. And, like, just comments, comments that I think are inappropriate even when they're complimenting me. When I was on the surgery table getting ready to get my hysterectomy, they go, "Oh, you've had 3 babies? You don't have any stretch marks." Because I only have 1 on my stomach. But you know what? I I said this was the last thing I said before I got knocked out. I said, "Yeah, because 'cause they're all on my butt." And then the whole room erupted in laughter. And like, because it's true. I don't have stretch marks on my stomach. And I've had several doctors and medical professionals say things about my body where it's like, I'm there because I need your help. And there's like bad test results. But then you're like trying to like say, I had a dental hygienist say that I don't even want to say it, compliment my body and then bring up his wife who's had 4 kids. It was a male. These are the kind of things that happen. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Number two, getting treated differently by medical staff. Number one, it starts or loss of childhood. It starts around 11 for most women who are deemed conventionally attracted by most people. Once again, beauty is subjective. Not everybody's going to be everybody's cup of tea. Acid burn. Thank you for sending a membership. Thank you. Because women like to be victims. Well, Eddie, you are a victim. You are a victim when you're 11 years old and you have 18 plus year old men telling you to come back when you're 18 years old. When you can't leave your workplace at night without somebody following you in a car, yeah, you're a victim then. When you can't leave a bathroom from a gas station without some grown ass man trying to push your little like 90-pound body back into the gas station. That happened to me 3 times. Men trying to push me into bathrooms as I was exiting. All of you freaks that do that to people, there's a special place in hell for people like you, okay? No woman is like, "Oh, yeah, take me in the bathroom." That's never gonna happen. You fucking porn-addled brains is like what the root of the problem is often. There's this, like, beautiful girl in the world every few years. They have, like, this 6 or 5-year-old little girl that's, like, the most beautiful girl in the world, and they are always beautiful by subjective standards mostly, but, like, there's not these pictures, there's not these boys they deem the most beautiful boys in the world, and, like, we don't talk about how this makes men feel even subconsciously, you know what I mean? And I know they have beauty pageants for, like, little boys, but there's no, like, Mr. Teen USA. Like, the way that we put so much value on women's outside appearance and beauty is absolutely insane, and it is only to everybody's detriment. The beautiful ones that you think get all these things out of it even. It's like it impedes growth, it stunts growth when you are just told, like, that's all that matters. I can't tell you how many people when I was growing up, "You're gonna be beating the boys off with sticks." Have you guys ever heard that growing up? "You're gonna be beating the boys off with sticks." I'm not trying to sound cute. Literally, like anytime we encountered any older person and they like met us and they're talking about me and my sister, and it's like, that's kind of gross. I don't think people would say that so much now. And I think that's a good thing because I think we're evolving. We don't need to go back. We need to like, do a little bit of cleaning house, but yeah, there is a loss of childhood, and for all children, this is possible. All children are beautiful, but you know what I'm saying? And you're like, um, when you stand out a little bit more, it's just in excess, it's worse. And they are absolutely victims. And you sound like a bitter feminist. Well, you sound like a bitter a-hole in a random YouTube live just being negative and helping me get in the algorithm more with your comments. So I appreciate you. And that's why I tell my mods not to block anybody unless they're like downright threatening or vulgar. But you can go to my channel and see how I have a video on my community tab that's titled How Third Wave Feminism Harms Us All. So you can try to like peg me into something by watching me for like a minute or two. Good luck with that in life. That's really going to serve you well. Sebastian, yeah, women tell little boys, "Oh, look how cute you are. I'm coming back when you're 18." Oh, Sebastian, I know. I have heard that, and that is just as wrong. And there's so many female perverts and deviants, and it almost seems like it's on the rise. It's so disgusting. And like even the onesies that are like hot stud, like I think that shit is gross. We need to not objectify men because it's like, what we do with little girls. Is this a troll channel? Why are you asking that, Eddie? You can go look at my channel. I don't think troll channels have content dating back 7 years, no. Acid Burn, I'm sorry I didn't say hi to you. How are you doing? Oh my god, girl chased me all my life. It started when I was 7 till 5 years ago. Oh, geez. Eric Johnson. Peg, that's a sexist comment. Pyramid said views are views. Right. That's what people don't they think they're really trying to like tear you down because they're so I was just talking to another small YouTuber about this. They're so inconceivably jealous. I'm the opposite. So I've been a YouTuber consumer for several years now. Like bulk of my entertainment has been YouTube for like 4 years now. Like I mean all of it, seriously, like 99.9% of it. And like I just stopped Netflix and all that stuff. The ads get to me started paying for YouTube Premium when I could start listening to it at my workplace, and it's like it spoiled me. So it's like I would look at other people and get inspiration, even from the people I didn't like. The people like that Henson Creek guy, I'd be like, oh my gosh, like he has a few hundred subscribers. There's an audience for anybody and everybody as long as you're consistent and genuine. I think it is important. Like, there's so many people that like I'm interested in all kinds of people. So I can understand why somebody might be interested in like finding out more about Kentucky or what I have to say. And so yeah, it's people that are just like instead of looking at people and taking inspiration and motivation and then going and doing it themselves, they're gonna like curl up in a little ball and act like a little troll. And I'm sure that's like great for every cell in your body. I'm sure that like you're really a healthy person physically as well. And it's part of, like, the men leaving the workforce, like, 0.6% of men that are able-bodied and, 18 to 50 or something, leave the workforce and never come back every year. This has been, like, a trend for a while now, and people are like, "Why is this happening?" And there's, like, way more able-bodied men out of the workforce right now, and no, it's not like women coming in and taking over. Did you guys see what, like, Trump was trying to say about how we need, foreign workers now? Oh, acid burn. Thank you, acid burn. I'm gonna start reading the comments. A-hole, shame everyone that doesn't agree with you. Well, I don't shame everyone that doesn't agree with me, no. It's the people who are, like, so presumptuous, and if somebody brings something to the table that's actually good to debate and go back and forth with, I'm all about different ideas, a-hole. That's what I like about, it's a double standard. What's a double standard, Chris Caps? Where the sexual stuff, I do agree if you're talking about, I'm assuming because like, but a lot of it is like men perpetuating it. Every single time I see a story about a boy being, molested, raped, whatever by a teacher, there's always men in the comments talking about we would have wanted it, he liked it. Every boy wants that. That's everybody's fantasy. It's so disgusting and sick. And it is like it's just I see women that are like really bad sexual deviants, full of the Jezebel spirit. They're like just like going along to get along. They're products of their environment. They aren't the evildoers that started it. And it's just funny to me that so many men seem to think that women are so incapable, but at the same time, like I think I said this well, the Trojan horse that has came in and infiltrated everything and is toppling it down from the inside, but they don't talk about, is it because you want to be like, you love the billionaires and you want to be in proximity to power and act like maybe one day you can be as rich as them too, so you're never going to really acknowledge that they're the ones that are really screwing us all over, that we are all victims to. What in the world? Acid burn. Thank you so much, acid burn. I seriously, like, I was gonna say, if you know who came in here and started throwing money at me again, I was seriously gonna be like, save it for Christmas because I feel bad. But thank you. That's so sweet. $2,000 from Trump, probably less than 2 months. Face blue smiling. Yeah, I see. I just worry about the inflation, like the last stimulus checks. And I know this is supposed to be some dividend from the tariffs. I just worry how that might affect us. But I also think that if it is going to cause some crazy inflation, like it was all meant to be, this shit is a sinking ship and like they know it. And so they're just going to be like, whatever, here you go. Which, yeah, I'll take $2,000. I don't, is it going to be 2,000 for each person? You know what I mean? If you're married, wasn't it like that last time? I think it was. But anyways, shit. I only have like 2,000 left on my car. If we get 2,000 each, I might pay off my car. That'd be great. Anyways, um, I bought my car, you know, a Honda used. It is like worth way more than what I owe, and I even was an idiot and got a $2,000 warranty. I should have known better and not gotten that warranty. I'm sorry if I missed anybody's comment. Women are incapable of what, Sogo? You're incapable of finishing a sentence. TT boy, who, what, where, when is one of those white dudes for Kamala, aka gay? I'm sorry, TT boy, I don't grasp what you're trying to say. Who, what, when, how? Oh, you're talking about the person right below you. That is so funny. Men have been systemically taught from a young age that we have to joke about wrongdoings against us. I like your example of teacher and student, but your take is wrong on why. Well, can you explain to me why you think why? I would be interested in to know. And I completely agree. No, like the socialization of men is a huge problem. I talk about a lot on on my channel. But I would like to know what you mean, like why my take on it is wrong. Because I think it probably happens for different reasons too. So, like, I'm not saying that that's the only way to look at it. Men know women better than women do. Oh, Nathan, maybe like what men that are into psychology. Most men um aren't taught that it's even cool to know about women. Carrie always and, like, I'm sorry, this is how I look at it as somebody who's been married for 16 years, and like I said, I've just been around a lot of married people as a homeschooling mom. We're all human beings, and it's not about, like, trying to figure out men as a whole, women as a whole. You get with somebody, you are attracted to them, like, the attraction is very important. I was extremely attracted to my husband. I still think about the first picture I saw. We met on my and, like, he was wearing a hat in his picture, and to this day, like, when he has a hat on, I'm like, I'm thinking about that. Just like, yeah, it's important to have those sparks, but at the same time, it's not everything. And where was I going with that? Once you have that initial attraction of like the core person, it's just about like everybody's so multifaceted. I don't think you could simplify women enough to be like men know them. We're human beings. My teacher had hot legs in the 90s, Incognito said. Um, and laugh at me all you want. That's fine. That's also helps the algo. Everybody that makes under $100,000 gets it. Yeah. So like it would be both me and my, okay. Yeah. I'm dumb. I'm slow. Sorry. That would be nice. Yeah, country buggin', stop tricking Acid Burn. He's not tricking, but I really appreciate it, Acid Burn. I really do. You support my channel so much with the memberships. I don't want, but when it honestly, I feel guilty when somebody gives me money during the holiday season. I just feel guilty, like even though it's going to make our Christmas better. Um, Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for being nice. Great legend. I do have a job. I take care of kids. My husband is out of the house 6 days a week. If I didn't stay at home all the time, my 8-year-old special needs child would die. And this is also something that I talked about because it's not honored. And I saw the greatest, it was so great. It was the stay at home dad of 5 years was talking about the way that men act when he says he's a stay at home dad. And how, like, all the men that say that it's easy to stay at home and parent children don't do it well. Like, that's what I said. If you do it and you do a good job at it, you're not going to be like, oh, that was easy peasy. And the men that talk like that obviously have never, especially the small children. I'm talking about getting up 7 times in one night, and like we're built for that more so. And I formula fed one baby, so I understand not everybody can breastfeed, but like our hormones, the oxytocin that's released when you breastfeed, makes it easy for you to like get up and go back to sleep and all that. You know, like it's a beautiful thing. And like looking back on it, it's like it is amazing. I couldn't do that now, but then again, I don't have the hormones flowing through my body either. Thank you for posting that, Mr. Carey. Gary said, "I still love women, men, I don't." Um, yeah, like I don't want to. I totally understand where you're coming from with that comment, Gary. Not always a man, but at the same time, always a man. Nathan, we date women and have had to deal with them for years. How many women have you dated? Well, I've only spent my entire life as one, Nathan, you know? And I don't think that you really do understand until you cleave with a woman and intertwine your lives together and go through life with her like that. So forgive me if you have done that, but I don't think dating does that. You know what I mean? I think like living together, having children together, going through the trials of life together, that's when you really get to know a person, once again, woman or husband. Woohoo! I'm into chicks, mate, but keep your wishful thinking up. What is going on in the comments that I missed? You got some pretty eyes. Thank you, Rockstar. Um, Jose, I appreciate that comment. It's a nice live. Thank you. T800 in Canada. How are you doing up there? Are you staying warm? My BF is a cuck. Poor guy. Oops. I wanted to read that. Oh, I can read it. Poor guy has to heal with you. He's my husband of 15 years, a-hole. And he's very happy. Let's just leave it at that. Why you laugh about MySpace? John H., it's not funny now, but back then we didn't tell anybody. For like the first 10 years after we got back together, it was like taboo because now it's the norm to meet your significant other online. But back then, 20 years ago, you were a dork if you met online. Isn't that funny? Especially MySpace. I think it was like a little, it was still dorky meeting on like Plenty of Fish. Let's be real, it was. But like, um, I'm glad he found me. I knew somebody that was going to the same college he was going to, and then that's how we told people we met. Like we had mutual friends and both lived in Orlando. Don't count on that 2000, Gary said. Gary, I understand where you're coming from because Trump, boo hoo, acid burn, acid. Well, thank you, because the super chats also help with the algorithm too. So I appreciate you, Acid. Thank you. I don't expect anything from Trump at this point. Hi, Artemis Feathers. How are you doing? Bill said, I have to get on out of here, lady. Have a good night. Thank you for your perspective on things. I'm sorry if I missed any of your comments, Bill. I appreciate your support and thank you. Bill is a great example of a good man. Well, I'm assuming Bill doesn't always agree with me. I don't think anybody always agrees with me, but sometimes even if you don't agree, hello from Louisville, Simeon Racing, or am I saying that right? As yeah, Simeon Racing VR. That's so neat, Simeon. I was born in Louisville on the river in the Humana building. It was a university hospital back then. Oh, thank you, Robert. Thank you, Express. You guys are so sweet. And like I get called names and I get called like 50 years old, 60 years old, which there's nothing wrong with that. But that's part of it. Is like you're literally not allowed to age as a woman. And then if I got Botox, then people would comment about how my face was frozen and they could tell that I got Botox, right? It's insane. And it's something I want to help stand against. I don't always agree with you. You're absolutely right about that, but I listen to your perspective and I appreciate that. Thank you, Bill. And that's what I appreciate about it's nice to have people to talk to that like, aren't gonna like I don't feel like that about you guys. You don't have to agree with me. And that's like something that we need to take back. Like having respect for people unless they do something wrong, not for having varying opinions. Diamond is in here. I'm here listening, playing my game. Um, Diamond, seriously, don't say sorry. No, Diamond, I was glad you explained all of that, and I appreciate it. I'm like, seriously, I didn't respond as much as I wanted to because I was rushing to get on here. But like, seriously, see what I mean, Matthew? How old are you? I'm guessing 50. Because Matthew likes to look at barely legal every day of his life. When a lady pulled up in her tight jeans while in conversation, is it an attraction incognito? I don't know exactly what you mean by that. If a woman is trying to look sexy, I'm sorry, I don't grasp what you're saying. Simeon is a monkey and I sim race, so I am a monkey racing. That's funny. Yes, I did know Simeon, because the Simeon virus, SV40, was something that contaminated one of the first polio vaccines. I say vaccine wrong on purpose. That's why I knew what that. And I have that printed out from the CDC website because the CDC website used to have it, and I have it printed out, which I know people could say, "You could fake that." They took it down, but yeah, you can't find it, Jeff, unless you get my husband's phone. Have you ever watched Math? You seem like a conservative. You have yet to use bird hands. TT boy, I'm a registered independent since the age of 18, but I definitely lean towards the right. I've made no I've always been transparent about that. I didn't vote for Trump. I haven't voted since Obama, but I wanted Trump to win every time he ran. But I am very disappointed in him. But at the same time, it's like they're all the same. And like Tulsi Gabbard was one of my favorite politicians. Politicians. I was thinking of Thomas Massey. And she's been disappointing me a lot as of lately. It's like anybody that gets to a certain status is going to become corrupted by the corporations and the donors. Hey, Zeus. Wow, trolls in full force. Yeah, I knew the pretty privilege was going to invite them. How are you doing tonight, Hey, Zeus? But 65 years or older to get the 2000, and it's after January 1st. Oh, is that so, Virginia? I didn't hear that. Matthew, I'm 38, and I really don't care if you think I look like I'm 50 because I know I don't. I have dogs and I love my dogs. You definitely have cats and two ex-husbands. No, Jeff, I have one cat and one husband I've been with since I was 19 years old. I love this. What else? What else do you got? Holy shit, what the fuck are your actual views? Well, I'm a centrist on a lot of things, who, what, when, how. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I want to make YouTube content because I feel like I am a little unique, but at the same time, not. So I think that people that have my opinions just don't tend to make content. I don't think I'm so special. You know what I mean? I think everybody's special. I think everybody's special in their own ways. But I mean, I don't think I'm more special than anybody else. And I've been told that I'm well spoken. I wanted to go to school for journalism. So I figure, like, and they could always change. You guys could help me change my views. That's the thing. I'm not like a fucking, I know everything. The smartest people know that they still have a lot to learn. Nathan, Ralph Nader was our only hope. I really like Thomas Massey, but then it's like if he becomes, if he gets like more up there, like just like Tulsi, it's going to be the same thing. Um, thank you, Robert. Yes, Mr. Carey is he's a great mod. I can't stand that people would say these things to someone. So Matt McConnell, that's really sweet of you, but please don't cry for me. It part of why I like to leave, like this is for people that like once again, this is what pretty privilege is, right? And like I know I'm not as pretty as I used to be. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because it brings a lot less of bullshit with it. And especially like the competition with women, like people think that your life is easier because you are an attractive female. Because let's be real, like beauty, art, beauty, comedy, these are universal things we all need to get through life, no matter who you are, where you are in the world. We all, and men can be beautiful, but like, like once again, let's be real. I always think of Elaine and Seinfeld talking about how like women are so beautiful and, like our bodies are like works of art. I'm completely straight, by the way. I know a lot of people aren't going to believe that, but like, I know, like, I just don't have one jealous bone in my body when it comes to, other women. There's always going to be women that are younger and prettier than you, no matter who you are, especially when they label like 5-year-old little girls as the most beautiful girl in the world. And it's just really sick what, like, as are evolving in so many ways, and we could be spreading messages of like aging gracefully. I thought they do that more so in Europe. But I don't know. I don't know for sure. But it just seems like they're like actresses. Like there's some beautiful Italian actresses, and like they probably are aging better because they eat so much better. Don't get me started on that, especially over in Italy. Like, whole food, seasonal diets, less GMOs, all that jazz. But like, then I saw Andy McDowell said that she was being interviewed by a French woman, and she said that because she was taken aback when the woman said, "How does it feel to get older and lose your beauty?" And she's like, "What?" Maybe this is some kind of like language barrier. She doesn't really know what she's saying to me. And I had that thought. I was like, I thought like women in Europe, I thought they were just like more accepting overall. Like they all walk around like topless. They like accept each other's bodies more. And like, I thought they got less Botox and stuff. Does anybody know? And like, anyways, but the woman was created a long stretch of time after Adam and was first the most beautiful angel ever created. Oh, V or Vi, I don't know about that, but that's a sweet thought. Jim, I'm ugly. Looks no matter what, to a certain extent. You have to have some kind of attraction. I've tried to look at a man before God's eyes from the soul. The relationship was the more toxic one. Diamond, you are not ugly. Diamond, you are not ugly. That's why I was saying, like, I think all women are beautiful. And when I say like pretty privilege and I'm singling some women out above others, I mean that in like society's conventional. And even when you are conventionally attractive, you're still constantly nitpicked. This is why women go and get so much plastic surgery, you know? Like, I mean it. As a young girl in Miami, I know it's like probably the worst place for a 16, 17, 18-year-old girl to be. I moved to Orlando when I was 18 and trying to escape. And, it was bad. You get taken advantage of, and then people would be like, "Oh, yeah, you made your choices. You were an adult." No, you're 18 years old. You're still a child. You should be guided. And even the people that should have been guiding me weren't because they were trying to also take advantage. Hi, Big Daddy Hung. My voice cracked. How are you doing tonight? Um, Game Boy, that's kind of hardcore, man. No, not all women are beautiful. Well, Nathan, I disagree, but I'm not like talking about sexual attraction either. I'm saying that every human being has a beautiful trait. And okay, if somebody doesn't take care of themselves at all, it is going to be a lot tougher, right? Man or a woman, like you need to, and I'm not talking about like you have to be like, especially when it comes to weight, it really gets to me that we like say nice things about dads and their dad bods, but women can't bear children and their bodies can't change after that. And then if you do snap back, there's a problem with that too. You like literally can't win. You can't win. And so yeah, I think women can be so devastatingly beautiful. Like when I look at a woman, it might be like the color of her eyes, the color of her hair, just like her hair in general. Like I think uh, most women I encounter have something that is beautiful about them. And you're not looking at them as like a sexual object to stick it in. No, I'm not saying that towards anybody. I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? You're just like thinking about human beings and their unique differences. I think the same thing about men. I'm not attracted to them. I see beauty in all people. Like, I posted this meme in my members only that was like, all my ancestors stand before me. I am the result of the love of thousands. I think that shit when I look at people. Like, you look like your ancestors. And it's like, it's sad to me when women with noses like mine go and get butchered. And sometimes they look good. If I was to get a nose job in another life, I wouldn't. But like, it would be one of those finesse surgeries they call where like you could barely see it. I would definitely not like go all out and get like the Cindy Lou Who knows. It's just like it's not my face. And I've seen women who did do stuff like that who had unique noses and then like it took away from their beauty, even though you think they'd be prettier with a small nose. You think they'd be prettier with their bump missing from their nose. And I know my nose is crooked. I know it is. I would consider getting that fixed if I could without going completely under, but I don't think that's possible. They like break your nose for that. It's absolutely brutal. My sister didn't have that done, but she had just like sinus surgery. That was brutal. Your health is a precious thing. I would not trust, especially after I've been through with dentists. I wouldn't trust just anybody going around and messing with my bone structure. I'm fine with having a slightly crooked nose. I'm fine with my eyes being asymmetrical. Um, uh, I sell my hole at the 7-Eleven. I'm bad at guessing ages, but it's better to say younger than older, Gary said. Yeah, people are trying, they think they're going to get a rise out of me when I'm sitting on here saying, I know I'm a middle-aged woman, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's why I'm going to keep being a presence on the internet. And all these people that make fun of middle-aged women, they don't want to show their own faces. They're not confident enough to go live and try to build up an audience with their own everything. It's not just looks, right? You have to like actually entertain people somewhat. Mom bods are a thing too, what y'all are talking about. Who, what, when, how. It's not the same though. Like women aren't allowed to change after pregnancy. And then guys get a beer belly and people call it dad bod in like an endearing way. It's enraging to me. Every human is cool looking enough to be in a museum in 1,000 years. A cathesia, I like that. Thomas, me, it's skin, complexion, color, their eyes, eyebrows, teeth, and spontaneous reactions. Yeah, and a healthy people, health is the foundation of beauty, right? Like you're going to be more beautiful the healthier you are at any age, right? Like good, maintained, moisturized skin is always going to look better than somebody who has neglected. Um, I do not know Nick McGurr, Cowman. I'm totally butchering your name. I apologize. I know I said that so wrong. Okay, going to listening mode, playing my game. My eyes don't want to see some of these chats. Diamond, okay, thanks, girl. I'm gonna talk to you more in the comments soon. Jim, you can win by finding a good man with a bad boy side and settle down and make beautiful babies and carry on your name and get taken care of when you are on your way to the promised land, Jim said. Well, if that's what you want, that's what I wanted and that's what I got. And if that's what you want, not everybody's destined for that though. Not necessarily pretty privilege though, just thinking out loud. Oh, I know, Tejas. I knew like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. It's subjective. You can scroll through my chat. There's definitely plenty of people that do think I have pretty privilege. Okay. See what I mean? Like it's the most simp like behavior. It's like as the it's being a little bitch. I'm sorry. I'm really not mad. Like this is men that comment on a woman's looks like that. Like I always say, my husband would never. My husband has never. He is 40 years old. He is all man. He would never get in some woman's live chat and be like, "How old are you? Are you 50?" "Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm pretty privileged, not here. Where's the pretty privilege?" I'm like, never, never. And that's one of the reasons he's so sexy and he gets it so much. That man has given me so many orgasms that all he has to do is look at me in a certain way. I'm like Pavlov's dog. I'm ready to go. And you all wish you had that in your life. You would give a digit, maybe even a whole limb, half a limb to have what we have in your life. So, when you have a great intimate life like that, nothing else matters. And every time you think it couldn't get better and then it gets better, you're like, "Well, how does it get better? What?" And it's like, that's the reason why we're meant to be together. And marriage isn't just a construct of society. It's like, no, we're meant to be together. We're meant to live life two by two. And the insults, towards my marriage, oh, he wants you to just be on here and get you out of his hair. Yeah, he encouraged me to do YouTube. He said, "You're so great. I want to share you with the world." And that sounds kind of he would never whore me out. He'd never be like those off-grid channels. I'm sorry, my nose is itching. Where they have like the under boob showing, you know what I mean? She's like aiming a gun, like target practice. You guys know what I'm talking about. If you watch any off-grid content, like you've seen the smut, and we're like, how can men be okay with doing that to their wives? And I also understand that some people have the perspective of like, that's what I'm doing, just like sitting here with like a little bit of my bra strap showing like the fact that I'm a married woman because they're that much more conservative minded than me. And I do understand that, but there's billions of people. Just get over it and find somebody else to watch if that's how you feel about it. Um, I don't know what you mean by that. Oh, now Tejas is saying your husband is a lucky man. Well, we make each other lucky. Happy spouse, happy house. It is definitely not all about the woman when it comes to happy wife, happy life. But I do think when it comes to pleasure in the bedroom, that is one aspect where we're not concentrating on women enough and women's pleasure and like all these dead bedrooms. Oh my gosh, like I know it's not always the case, and it's none of my business, frankly. But like a lot of men complain about it openly, and you just wonder, like, do you deserve that? And helping out with like the housework, this has also been proven is like proven to help you get laid more, basically. We all have types as humans, whether what body shape or type, race, etc. Personality comes after lust or love at first sight. Yes, Diamond, I agree with you. And there's nothing wrong with having preferences. I always knew I was going to end up with somebody that was like darker skin tone, darker hair, darker eyes. I just knew it. Like it was funny. I knew it. I didn't date anybody really like my husband's exact coloring until I met him. I know I got with him young, but I still like he sorry, I thought I might have heard my kid. I can't believe I got 90 likes. That's so great. Now I'm gonna get a dislike. I'm gonna get a dislike. Um, and he said the same thing about like he always knew he was gonna get with somebody that was like a little Hispanic looking like me. And I was like, I always knew I was gonna get with somebody like you that's like white but not. And uh sorry guys. It's like it's my cat. God damn cat. Yeah, he gets fed at 9 and I haven't fed him yet. Um, I should go feed him before he, like, wakes up somebody. Was I just gonna say? Totally lost my train of thought. Oh, it's like a kid in high school in the hallway. And my husband is like walking past me. I like get the butterflies. Like I'm literally in high school. 20 years. Yeah, we've been through some ups and downs. We've been through some bad shit. So I'm not trying to make it sound like it's been like this the whole time. We've never fought. We don't fight. Me and my husband never go through rough patches. That's not true. I don't think it's true for any marriage. And if they say that, they probably fight worse. I'm the same. I prefer the darker of those things too, Diamond. Yeah, I always knew, like, watching The Little Mermaid, I was like, "I'm gonna marry somebody that looks like Eric." Only with olive skin tone. Between freedom, justice, and love, love is the most wholesome. In my opinion, you still got pretty privilege too. Thank you, Tejas. That's nice. That's great, Pyramid. I'm sorry if I'm being too vulgar to anybody. But some incels need to hear these things. They need to be jostled a little bit. And I'm hoping like to motivate people. And I shouldn't say incels. I shouldn't call people that. I really do feel for people. If you didn't know what it's like to like not have any trouble getting a date to just like as soon as you broke up with somebody they're just like coming at you left and right. I mean that like that sucks like to be live the opposite of that and like to have had a hard time ever getting a date. I really sincerely feel for those people because like I said I do see beauty in everybody. I like the people that think we're still in the dark ages in so many ways, especially when it comes to I say differently abled, and I'm starting to think like is that something that I should or shouldn't say? Because apparently different the people we're talking about, a lot of them don't like being called differently abled. I thought it was a nice way of saying like they're not typical, but they're not like less than. And like everybody has something to offer. I'll never forget the first Down syndrome person with Down syndrome I met. I was waitressing at Steak and Shake. Her mom said, "My daughter's coming." And she told us she has Down syndrome. And I remember like automatically being like, oh, that's so sad or whatever, you know. I one of the best conversations I ever had in my life was with this, like, she was, like, my age, I think, maybe a little bit older, teenager, you know, I was 16, um, and I remember thinking, like, gosh, like, I'll never feel bad for somebody ever again, and I know it's a spectrum, and people with Down syndrome can be, more medically challenged and, like, all of that, like, you know, it's just like autism, so I know they're not all the same in that regard, but, like, I remember being like, "I'm not gonna feel sorry for somebody because I hear that they have a child with Down syndrome now," you know? And some of the best people on the planet. And yeah, I think we all have like something to offer. This is somewhat on topic. You just talked about, okay, I had a one night stand, lasted 17 hours, nothing but pleasure. She had over 200 orgasms. Yeah, acid burn. So you know what's up. Men that have participated in actually giving a woman pleasure know the benefits of it, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and I don't want to be like, you know, fodder for, you know what, but like, that's what men need to learn. That's what men should be teaching other men instead of just like simp, you know, like we need to have conversations like how do you get the kind of relationship that you want and make sure that it sustains itself and better yet flourishes. Jake, my break is over, but with live, if you stay lively, I'll be on. I'm at work right now. I don't know about tonight, Jake. I'm gonna go to bed soon. I gotta wake up early. Like, can we go for tomorrow night or no, no, Sunday night? You let me know. Or any other night but Saturday. She doesn't practice black magic. How do you know, Mr. Carey? No, I don't. I don't, and I never would. I know that comes back threefold. I have a book of shadows that I started when I was a teenager. I used to practice Wicca. Honestly, I've thought about doing some spells lately, but no black magic. I felt strongly to stay away from that stuff. And I hope I'm not offending any of my religious Christian friends, but like honestly, I just felt a pull to it lately. And maybe this is I'm burning this candle right now. It's so good. One of my clearance candles. I love this brand. And I've got a mastiff that's tooting up a storm, napping by my feet like always. So I had to light a candle because I'm like, I can't sit here just breathing in her farts. It's hard from a woman to woman to say, "Oh, you've still got pretty privilege," because it sounds like it's coming off in a snarky way. But yes, you're still very beautiful. Aging is part of life, and privilege not many people get to have. Thank you, Diamond. No, thank you so much. I love it when, like, you know, other women, little kid looks up at you and like, "You're pretty," and it's like so pure, and you know, there's no ulterior motives. And I hate to say that because like, it's pure. With no ulterior motives from a bunch of men often too. But that's how I look at it. I had a friend, I talk about her a lot. I feel like I don't do her justice talking about her more. I had a friend, like I met her through an autism support group. She had a severely autistic child. I mean, this literally as severe as it gets without being in a catatonic state, just rocking back and forth all day. Okay. Her only child, and she was a few years older than me. She had two kinds of cancer. She passed away at 34. The father of the child killed himself a month later. Just like I don't know where the sun is, and I think about them every day. Anyways, so yeah, whatever I'm going through in life, I think about her, how she only had 34 years. She was a homeowner. She was such a badass. She went and got like a medical coding and billing degree. She was in and out of foster care. This woman like faced so much. She went and bought herself a house and single female homeowner. Like I didn't know anybody else that did that in Louisville. She was from Louisville. And everywhere she went, she was like a magnet. It's like people knew she just like she was beautiful. She really was. But there was something about she had a really cool style, like, she liked to wear, like, retro not always, I don't mean to make it sound like she, like, literally was, like, a retro pinup girl all the time, but, like, she'd wear, like, really cute dresses that, like, it, like, she just had a really cute style, and, people were always, like, buying her drinks. I mean, extra, and, like, somebody in her obituary said it's like she was like a butterfly. It's like people knew how special she was and that she wasn't gonna be here long. And like, so I think about her and I think about like I seriously live in honor of her. There was a young man who died at 16 years old in my high school class. And I was closer to the guy who was driving the car who fell asleep and then, when you go through grief like that, and I don't know if these people have never grieved anybody like that, but like I would never say anything to anybody about like getting older, making fun of a woman's age. I think about my friends, and Diamond's right, and she constantly had her bicycle stolen because her house wasn't in the best neighborhood in Louisville. One of those places used to be a nice neighborhood, but like on the West End. And another thing I always think about when I think about somebody wrote in her obituary, they're like, well, now you're in a place where nobody can steal your bike. And like, if you knew her, you would know she could appreciate somebody writing that in her obituary. She was so freaking funny. And so yeah, and I think about I wish I was there for her more. She lost her old dog not too long before she passed, and I did say like sorry and condolences and stuff, but like I wasn't there for her in the way that I wish I was if I would have known she was going to pass away at the age of 34. So yeah, it's like oh my freaking cat. What's the difference between black magic and then just praying and thinking about something and trying to manifest the thought into the psychosis of the matrix? I'm gonna answer this question while I go feed my cat. I hope that's okay with everybody. I'm not bringing my phone with me. I'm just gonna talk. I hope that it stays. Actually, you know what? That's kind of dumb. I'm just gonna bring you with me. Oh, kind of hot. Um, That ring light is like shining on the back of it. We've got to feed Toki Poo because he's gonna like have a heart attack if we don't feed him. Okay, this is kind of dumb. Hold on, let me. My son still hasn't taken his supplements. I hope he doesn't. No, I'm gonna feed you. Okay, maybe I should feed him outside. Oh, I don't know where his. I like to put his metal food bowls outside. We're gonna just. Shh. Yeah, he's an indoor outdoor boy. I guess my sink isn't that dirty. I was like, don't mind my dirty sink. It's not dirty, and I usually give him filtered water, but I'm not. Um, Somebody tried to tell me Alexa Pure doesn't filter out fluoride, and I had to tell her to go look at the website where it absolutely says it filters out fluoride. 97%. It doesn't filter out 100%. Oh shit! I just spilled a bunch of the water. You put your little. Oh, you guys, I swear I usually don't have like all these freaking bowls outside. Oh, sorry, babe. I didn't mean to knock you on your face. No, no, now my sock's wet. This is a disaster. Yes, I have a weight bench in like our mud room. Because I would do anything for my kids, including give them a room for a weight bench. I'm sorry, of course I have to open a new bag. Give me 1 second. I have My girl dog's in my room and Rocco must be in their bed. God. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, baby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know. I know. I'm gonna starve to death because it's been a whole hour and a half past his supper time because I'm a selfish dreamer now. Turn the Christmas tree off when I came into. Oh, I need to turn off the lights. Okay. I should probably go soon anyways. I'm like wide awake, but there's Layla. Layla. Big stretch. She a good girl. She's so cute. She's like a little kid that like won't stop coming back into the bedroom whenever I try to like have her go out to the living room because she snores like when I go to sleep. But of course, as I say that, she wants to go out. I'm sorry, girlie. I was looking down at my phone. I swear I don't usually knock my cat in the face with I don't know if you saw, and I guess I didn't. Anyways, gonna read a few of the chats. I'm gonna go soon. Even though I'm ugly and fat, I'm like, I like nice looking fit people too, but I also like fat men. Diamond said. Um, I did, Diamond, I do not think that you're ugly and fat. You have like a pear-shaped body. And this is another thing, like as a woman that is petite, but once again, I have all sorts of issues. I have thyroid nodules, I have PCOS, like it just kills me the way that like people, all women are expected to be like 110 pounds, and I am 110 pounds. And it's just like, do we not all live in the same reality? Because like walking around, like most women aren't a size 0, and that's okay, and, like, the older I get and, like, it's probably from having kids too, but, like, you can't fit into even the smaller sizes at the same weight. It's interesting, the older you get, like, your weight spreads in different places and stuff. Um, Acid burn. When I was 19, I walked in the mall for 19-year-olds would pass me and make eye contact. A group of 16-year-olds would walk by, giggles and stuff, and the 12-year-olds would stop and point and giggle. Um are you talking about girls? Give the cat milk every now and then, they love it, they love you even more for it. I've heard that that's bad for them, acid burn. I probably wouldn't give a cat milk unless I don't know, have I heard goat's milk? I'm gonna say I've heard, like, goats. I know that it's closest to human milk, like, the proteins of it, but I wanna say, you can get special milk for are you talking about cats' milk? Like, they have I've got 7 pans for my dogs. I just find them and don't even need them. I have thanks for reminding me. I don't know if my kid is showered yet. I need to run the dishwasher because all of my dog's food bowls are in the dishwasher. And I need to do that tonight, or else they're not going to be ready for and I like scrub them really good. I basically clean them before I put them in the dishwasher with like our cups and dishes. You know what I mean? Is like you know what I mean? That like film they get, even in like a week or less. We have 6 bowls we rotate, and then I use the bowls to put the chicken feed in, and I just dump the chicken feed, like, on the top. I don't go in there because 'cause they're not making eggs. Ah, here we go again for what, Yeti? An answer to your question, no, I don't think everyone is walking around in the same reality. Right. Risananza, how are you doing? I hope I said your name somewhat right. All the sizes are made different in different brands. Yes, diamond. Oh my gosh, that is one thing that's so annoying. Yes. And like as a woman that like I bring this up a lot, is there's like that is smaller chested. It's like so infuriating now that like most people or like the cup size has changed because of the plastic surgery. Like 20 years ago, the average cup size was a B. I forget what, like 38B or something like that, and now it's changed to like C because of implants. And uh, as a woman, it can be really discouraging. And then it's like you have to dress for your body type, period, no matter what, you know. But it's just like, oh my gosh, the trends infuriate me. Like I have a lot of like cropped shirts myself. I don't ever wear them except to bed, and I always get like size large or extra large, so they're not really cropped. Like the fact that like everything is cropped. Or for like women in retirement age, shit like that pisses me off. And there for a few years, everything had, like, strings at the side that cinched up. I buy cheaper clothes, obviously. I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm not like at Macy's. But it's just certain trends. For a few years, when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, I could not find shorts because I refused to get the fucking hoochie shorts. I wanted shorts that were like went past my fingertips. But once again, no offense to anybody in retirement age. I don't want to sound like I'm ageist myself. I'm just saying matter of fact. And like earlier in my life, I said it's an old lady thing when women get mad at people asking their age. And I was talking about how my oldest son went through this phase. He asked everybody their ages and their birthdays, and he'd like remember their birthdays. We'd like see the same cashier months later, and he'd be like, "Happy birthday," because he remembered they just had a birthday and shit. It's so funny and cute. And like old women often would get mad. Didn't you tell him that's rude? And I'm like, but it's not really. Like I was just talking about my friend. I don't think that it's. I think we all need to be proud of how old we are. And quit perpetuating that shit that like I'm not going to tell people my age. I couldn't imagine doing that. I couldn't imagine all the people that asked me my age if I was like I'm not going to tell. Oh, thank you, Said. Am I saying that right? Said? Said. I'm saying the same thing over and over, and in my brain, I'm trying to say it differently. The goddess of witches, how are you doing tonight? I'm 45, so the goddess of witches. Yes, and I think um, the Financial Diet started a new series recently where she is interviewing women 40 and older because, like, we ignore them, and like that's her point is like all these women she's interviewing are going to have like amazing stories, have so much to offer. And like I said, I want to say it one more time. We're the one of three species on the planet that has menopause, meaning we have evolved to the point where our fertility stops and we continue to live many years past that, like a quarter of our lives, because we are so important in communities, because grandmas and mothers are so important. Even if you didn't birth any children, you're still a part of the community. You still are intrinsic. Women still form communities. They're even more so a part of the community when they don't have children often, or they can be. So, acid burn. I used to have a hobby of asking girls to show me the tattoo on their back, and I had about 40 girls do, and nobody ever turned me down, not one girl. Acid burn, that sounds like it might have been in a different time, though. Was that when it was, like, tramp stamp territory? Philip loves small tits. You like fire with a fine flat chest. Yeah, just exactly, and not everybody's gonna be everybody's cup of tea. Some, young women that's what I would tell young women, like, it's like, yeah, a lot of guys are gonna, like, automatically give you flack for it, but, like, filter, it's just a filter, like, look at it as, like, a water filter. You're just filtering out the sediment that wasn't meant for you anyways, and, but when somebody's, like, outspoken about it, like, "You are not my type, you're not my preference," like, that's actually, like, a blessing in a way, right? I know it can sting, but yeah, everybody has somebody out there that's gonna think they're gorgeous. I know people are gonna say, "Not everybody, not everybody, not everybody." Yeah, I think everybody. Yeah, I do. Out of the billions of people, um I'm not a bi or lesbian, but I agree breasts can be beautiful, even just nipples and flat chest women. I do feel like the perfect size is C cup though, but even with breast implants, they don't look normal. Right, Diamond. I think it's all about like proportion. And we've lost that. It's like if your body is in proportion, like that is a beautiful thing. And not everybody is built to have a bigger breast. My mom had beautiful like D's or double D's, so I always thought I was gonna be built like her. It didn't turn out that way. But, especially as I've seen her age and, like, complain about them so freaking much, sometimes that makes me happy. But, the way I see it, like, I brought up Refashion Hippie, she's so funny, she's really great, she's really funny, and, she calls herself Be-Titted. She happens to have an ample chest. She does kinda play off of that, but not too much, she really doesn't. She'll actually, like, show a lot of, like, the crazy comments she gets and stuff, but it's like, when you're built like that you can't help everybody's gonna notice, And like, so yeah, some women just have ample breasts, and that's a beautiful feminine trait of theirs. And then some of us don't have that, but we have something else, that is feminine and beautiful too. We can't have all of it. We can't all have it all. And we end up looking like one of these like Instagram models that one of my favorite memes is like even the models don't look like the models. You can't compare yourself to the cover girls, even they don't look like themselves or something. I'm butchering it. Older women look amazing now, Kristen. Um, I hope well, yeah, they can. I think it's like the girls in their 20s trying to do all these things to halt the aging process that are I hate to say that about anybody, but it's just so sad. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? They're like aging themselves. And once again, that's not a bad thing. But like if you're getting Botox and like you're causing yourself to look older than your age, and that's what you're trying to do the opposite of. Acid burn when you ask girls to show you their backs, you were 19 to 30. That sounds about right. Kentucky, home of the meth pipe, doctor, not a doctor. Oh, that's so sad. As anywhere there's a bunch of rural areas, unfortunately, you know? Um, I don't have a religion, Goku. I'm spiritual. I don't really have a religion. Goddess said people look like I'm 32, I'm 45, I'm 34C. Oh, that's that's nice, Goddess. That sounds nice. Um, but see, and another thing when women are built, like I think sometimes I had one person, just one person ever ask if I got lip injections, which I thought was really funny because I just feel like my lips don't look fake at all. Like, but I understand where they were coming. I always kind of like took it as a compliment, you know. But then I think about like God, I almost feel for women with natural boobs, and like it shouldn't matter. But sometimes I'm like they kind of get the shit end of the stick because a lot of people probably assume they're fake. Life expectancy was 38 around 1860. Hey, sis, I don't know why that's so funny to me. Looking younger is a gift to be grateful for, Joe said. Um, like I said, I think like health is a foundation of beauty. So, like when people look good for their age or look young, often they're just really healthy, right? They're vibrant. They take care of themselves. They probably have a good attitude. When I saw this lady that was like 88. It was amazing. She was doing push-ups. She was doing the splits. And the way she got up off the floor, oh my God, I don't know if I could get up off the floor that quick. She did. Um, we could all learn from people that keep their bodies moving. I may be overthinking things. Big butts are great club, but smaller ones are the bee's knees nude, Teja said. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Tejas. It's like it's kind of like the sleeper body type. Like personally, there. I see. I don't want to compare and try to make one seem like the better than the other. But for other women that are also more modest chested, it's like yeah, like sometimes it's nice to like surprise them. I already read that. When I was 19, I never dated a woman less than 15 years older than me. 33-year-old women are relentless. That kind of makes me sad, acid burn. I've heard that a lot. And as a middle-aged woman, I don't get it. It just makes me sad. I think these women are missing real connections. They probably didn't have one with their dad. I'm being sincere. I'm not making fun of that. They probably have daddy issues on top of they tried to have serious relationships that failed. So like once they had like probably one baby daddy at least, divorced him, if they even got married then she just, like, goes balls to the wall and is like, once again, I'm not trying to make excuses for women, but it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. So now I'm gonna be promiscuous and, like, what will make me feel better to like, you get stunted at the age where traumatizing things happen or even like people that are famous they'll like remain the same emotional age as they were at like the height of their fame and I think that happens to a lot of people like they like peak in a certain way and they never mature past like 16ish 18ish especially women especially pretty women. Once again, conventionally attractive by most standards because I think every woman is pretty has something pretty about her. And you're not like so brainwashed that you think everybody has to fit the exact same standard of beauty that's mostly this like European phenotype, you know, that's like very rigid. That realistically only very few percent, what would you say, 5% or less of women actually fit the stereotype that there's like this ideal, like big eyes, small nose, big lips, like little chin, right? And can have a big forehead um, you know, wrinkles, no signs of aging. You know, you have to be like a size zero. I'm sorry, zero is too small for like not everybody. Some people are naturally built like that, but for most grown women, that is too small. We're expected to be like 0 to 3. C cup with a big butt. How many people are literally like built like that just naturally? Some women are, and they're like they won the genetic lottery too, you know? Um, Anyways, I don't know where I was going with that. If you can't win an argument with facts, don't tear people down. What a weak strategy. Yes, and yes, Keith said. Yes. Um, model, did I say, James, did I say I was model material? James Walsh said, I'm not, you're not model material. Are you talking to me, James? And why are you saying that? And why does it matter? I said that that's a meme, like, for women that are comparing themselves to women in media, like, don't compare yourself to them. They don't even look like them because they airbrush them, they literally, like, elongate their legs and their torso sometimes, they'll make their busts bigger, it's like it's crazy, even, like, Keira Knightley in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie, they, like, made her boobs bigger, like, the whole freaking movie, it's like, um and maybe they've done that with men, like, making their biceps bigger, the trap house was jumping and the house has been locked up. Okay. Hey, Elena, how are you doing? A diamond in the six o tree. I'm vegan and raised my kids vegan as well. They are adults and married now, but they are slim, the goddess of witches said. Oh, I'm glad that worked out for you. It's better to retain your cells to function from the inside is better, Keith said. Justin Grab said, you look great. All women like when they are kissed and teased with. Yes, you definitely want to feel like somebody, you know, you want to warm up the oven. You know what I mean? And adult media is giving people messages that are not so, when I don't like talking too much about this. I think I've talked enough sexual stuff for one life, but it's giving bad messages about what intimacy looks like in so many levels. You're welcome, goddess. I'm glad you're here. Oh, thank you, goddess. Thomas likes 32 double D. 32? 32 double D? I mean, I guess I am like 34. I'm not gonna say what cup size, but you guys can probably guess. Double I wear like bralettes. I don't even really wear cup size bras anymore. 32, that's just like so tiny and so big. So you basically want a woman that's like my size with like watermelons. That's crazy. Um, you can't compare yourself to anyone. Yeah, Yeti, ideally you don't, but the reality of the situation is we do, But you're right, ideally you don't. And the constant messages, especially young people are facing, like, I don't have that much media. And then when you follow the media you do follow is like YouTube, mostly content that you subscribe to, you choose. I see a lot of real people, and yeah, I think that like women are human beings, period, but especially women. Like, I don't know. I know men's bodies come in all sorts of variations, but women just come in so many variations. And one of my favorite ads of all time was this Dove soap ad that was like it was like a lineup of women, and they were all weighed. I want to say 165 pounds, something like that, 170 pounds, and they were all different heights and they all, like, carried their weight differently. It was so cool to see, like, that is beautiful. It's like a diversity in a garden when you have this beautiful English cottage garden with all these different flowers, and your eye goes from one to the next, like, "Oh, that's different. Oh, that's different," and you see all the you don't think, "Oh, that silly iris, the pistils are too long. Oh, that damn tiger lily. If only it was the same color as that rose." Like we don't do that shit when it comes to like the natural beauty in nature. And if people could start looking at human beings like that, like we're all naturally beautiful because of our own differences and the characteristics, it would be so boring if we all look the same. And it's kind of starting to turn into that. We're seeing it a little bit when it comes to just like, you know, um, social media type stuff. Nice set of ears. That's the first. I just like building a beautiful life and great conversations, Keith said. Yes, Keith, same. Thomas, it's like, hi, I'm Jessica Simpson, Britney Spears, or Jessica Alba, Jessica Biel, or Natalie Portman, or what are you talking about? I'm sorry, Thomas. I'm not following. I don't know what you mean by that comment. I love Jessica Simpson. I was just listening to her first album the other day. Her dad was so gross. He was always talking about her double Ds. Is that what you're talking about? I don't think Britney ever had double Ds. Or 32 double D on a short one is like three midgets trying to fight each other for survival. Yeah, I feel bad for her back. I mean, like, I get it. You're entitled. If you like busty women, that's fine. Like, the point is, like, we can't fit everybody, try to, like, peg everybody into one. Like, when women are like, that's what's so beautiful about women is like all the variations we come in. And, yeah, I think, the more mature a man is, the more he doesn't like, you know, think every woman has to be exactly the same, whatever. Like, ideally you fall in love with somebody and it's not about having a certain type because once again, women age. So like if your type is like an 18-year-old hot woman with perky boobs, like good luck with that. I mean, you're not really probably gonna have a partner in life forever. But anyways, I think I'm sorry. I hope I didn't offend anybody. I'm gonna be honest. Like, yeah, I don't have a filter. I don't. And when it comes to talking about our sexual life, I really don't wanna, like, offend anybody, I don't wanna step on any toes, I don't wanna say anything that makes people disappointed in me, that support, like, all of my other content. I hope you understand where my heart is coming from, that, like, um, people do need to know these things. People need to know that there are plenty of people out there that don't have dead bedrooms, bedrooms, bend. That, they exist. There's people that can maintain, healthy, intimate life. Um, honestly, I think it's one of the only things that's kept us hanging. Okay, I need to g I really need to go. And it's been a while since I talked about boobs, right? It's like, it's due time. This life has a $500,000 Vogue comments fee at this time. Keith, you're so silly. I think Britney Spears is beautiful, Diamond said. Yes, and I think it's so sad what happened to her. And I was thinking about her when I said people who get like reach a very high level of fame and like peak in youth, they'll like stagnate at that age, often. It's the same thing with trauma. Like something traumatizing happens to you at a certain age, that can happen too. And it's so sad. And they didn't even really let her sing, in my opinion. Like we never really hardly heard her real voice. She had a real genuine good voice. Diamond, did you hear my story about my sister singing Britney Spears, Diamond? I think that girl who plays in Bridgerton is very beautiful, the one with the writer whistleblower, whatever, the redhead. I don't know who you're talking about, Diamond. I've never watched that. Britney used to be very pretty now, not so much meth and crack will ruin it. Yeah, well, oh goddess, yeah. Yeah, she's like fractured now. Her brain doesn't seem to be functioning properly. It's sad. The actress who played on them old movies over in Egypt and Brandon Fraser was so popular. I always thought she was so beautiful. Ah, I think I know who you're talking about. I'm so bad with names. My husband's really good. Like he'll see somebody and he's like IMDb. He'll like list off their fucking videography. He was in this and that and this and that. Oh yeah, she was this and that and this and that. She was the extra in that movie in the casino where she handed the guy a drink. I call him Elephant Brain. Thomas Emma Peel. Emma Peel, you're saying that too, Thomas. I would go for 34 too or 36 double D. Saying it like you're like ordering from a fast food menu or something. Oh, I don't know if they mean the one with the hawk eye. I'm Bert. Where are you in Kentucky? Louisville here for me. Bert, I don't say the exact town. I just say South Central Kentucky. I'm somewhere from Greensburg to Somerset. Let's just say that. I think I made that apparent. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. Oh, whatever. Gary knows what's up, Felix said. Hi, Milo. How are you doing? Um, okay. Natural is best, the goddess of the witches said. Yes, I'm glad I stayed natural just because like the way that I've reacted with just like dental materials, I think that's one reason I had issues with like one of my many issues, but I just don't think foreign bodies would have uh, played out well in my body personally, and breast implant illness is a real thing that they're denying, and they make so much money off of like the extraction. If you can't afford to get them extracted, if they start to cause illness, it's awful. I've seen so many women like suffer really badly from them. And um I don't do shrooms, Geo. I was drinking this tea. It's a psilocybin tea from Psilovibe Church. I don't do shrooms. Um, the last time I did, I got really bad anxiety, and I was kind of disappointed because I had a bad trip when I was 16, but it was a synthetic psychedelic. It was not shrooms that gave me the bad trip when I was 16. So I stayed away from all of that until the last few years. Scylla Vibe Church, you what is it called? You make a you know what I'm talking about? You get a sacrament. You pay for a sacrament. Get my drift. It's legit. Acid burn. I plead the First Amendment of the Constitution. You can't say anything that is illegal. Scarlett Johansson. Oh yeah, Scarlett Johansson is beautiful. Yes, definitely. Anything illegal, I plead. This is not the droid you're looking for. The Avengers English 1960s TV show, Gary said. Tejas, I don't know what's going on, and I plead the fifth, my favorite amendment. I don't know what's going on either. Owen, how old are you, Owen? If you're asking me what is the best age today, I have a feeling you're too young to be in here. No offense. Um, it depends on the person. I mean, I think it depends on the person. If you're mature enough to start dating when you're a teenager, it helps with life experiences. I try not to say anything about my kid because I really don't talk about my kids, but I have the best kids. My 16-year-old, he's like he literally said once, he's like, "I'm going to take the lessons I learned from my first girlfriend and try to be a better boyfriend because that's all I can do now. It does suck that it didn't work out with her, but now I'm gonna use it for good and learn from it." Oh, that's why it's okay for some people to start dating when they're teenagers. Oh, thank you, Gio. Her name is Rachel Wise Wait, I don't know, the one who starred with Brandon Fraser. That sounds really familiar, and I think I know who you're talking about, and she was really pretty. I always thought Ashley Judd was so pretty. She's from Kentucky, Springfield, Kentucky, back in '96. I worked at the Notchers, there's Toyota plant. Oh, really, Mr. Carey? That's so funny. Springfield. I know all about Springfield. I know anchoring techniques, and my words are medicine stronger than drugs, Keith said. Thomas, Scarlett Johansson from the Avengers, and I meant to say with all those women's names, that was like what women tried to be like. Felix said Pamela Anderson. I was talking about her earlier. Felix, I brought up how she's like, I don't want to say like I kind of made it sound like she's given up. I don't mean it like that. I just think it's interesting when women like her like will completely makeup lists. And I think that it's part of this attitude, like she's so stinking tired of being objectified. And it's like the attitude that I have when like people try to like put me down. I'm like, this person said earlier in a live, I went early live earlier today, and I was outside and I was like, I should be in the direct sunlight, and that would really like wash out my face. You wouldn't see the bags under my eyes. I would look like, mwah. And I didn't. I sat in the shade of my house because I was like, whatever. I'll look a little worse because in order to be comfortable and not have the sun in my eyes and give myself a headache, just so I can look even better. And this one person was like, um, I was responding to something somebody else said, and then somebody's like, "You're not attractive to me," because that's all that so many women, men place value on women for, and expect them to like be like. Women aren't walking around. I know there is this young thing. I'll admit, when you're young and coming into your own, like there is something you go through, and we witnessed other women go through it. And, turning 18 and shit, like Miley Cyrus with the finger. We don't all spaz out like that, but you know what I'm trying to say. You like come into your own as a woman, as a sexual being, and that's why we need to like guide our young people better and like teach them like, yeah, you are great, and you're great, but you're going to regret this shit if you don't rein it in a little bit. And like, where was I going with that? Pamela Anderson. Hi, Dilpreet. How are you? Yeah, it's time to go when I keep losing my track of thought. I think that's the first time I've lost my track of thought tonight. Hi, Bluegrass Grammy. Oh, that's the thing. And it was Lisa calling me a Grammy. The people saying you're not attractive to me, and I was like, good. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm attractive to less people. I like aging. I like being less attractive to more people because all it ever got me, especially since I found my husband, was a bunch of fucking grief, not being able to leave the house. Like I got groped at the Medicaid building going to sign up for a waiver for my son. Real story. I had a sweater on, like one of those long sweaters that like went past my butt, and like leggings. And this guy literally groped my crotch. I walked directly to the security guard. I was like in shock. I was like, that it was a very, very crowded space. And I was like, that guy just did this. And the security guard took me very seriously. So it's things like that that happen. And it happened, I heard, it happens to attractive men, like, they get groped, women think it's, like, their public domain, as somebody has a career, there's this guy was, like, an author for it was, like, dirty adult books, but still, just because you write erotica doesn't mean that your body is everybody's body. And, so, yeah, this world is crazy, and we're all getting negatively affected by it and feeling I used to go to Whispering Pines in Marion County too back in '96, played on the drums, hot-blooded. Gary, how about dating a 72 years old, still too young? Oh, no, Gary. Definitely not. 16-year-old is 16-year-old, a little bollocks. This woman makes no sense when she talks. Go get more sense talking to a cat. Okay, Ghastly Killer, you're the one that's not making much sense here. Sometimes only the ugly ducklings end up becoming the swans after high school. Yeah, Diamond. I was an ugly duckling until like eighth grade. And a lot my mom wouldn't let me, like, not get the biggest glasses, and I had, like, really thick lenses, and was, like, begging for, like, smaller glasses when they started to come into style in the late '90s, and she would be like, "You can't see out of those." So when I moved in with my dad and I got contact lenses, that was like my little glow up. And my hair got extremely frizzy. I mean, and my hair was like a freaking fro for a few years when I went through puberty. And so I had to put like frizzies in my hair like almost every day. If you don't know what that is, that's like the stickiest, thickest serum ever. And it's like, anyways. And my facial hair started to come in full force because of my PCOS. I've got male pattern hair all over my body and my face. How about that, trolls? I guess I take good enough care of it because you're never talking about my mustache. You're never talking about my goatee. You're never talking about my stubble or like the spots you can see where I tweeze, accidentally pinch myself. Emotional states control is a root of all healing and longevity. Malone, I see I'm all right to you. That's nice. Thanks. You seem to know stuff, Lou72 said. I know a little about a lot. And like I keep saying, the wisest people don't think they know it all. So like I hate the thought of ever thinking I come off as self-righteous or a know-it-all, which I completely understand. You take a tidbit of something I'm saying, especially when I get worked up. I might come off as that, and I don't mean to, because I definitely am not a know-it-all. Need my beloved to help me with my weaknesses as I help her with hers, Keith said. Oh, acid burn. I think because of you, I'm going to go ahead and finish that book because I realize AI can't answer every question that I have for research. That's a really good acid burn. You're right. AI. Be careful now because it can often be wrong, but it was so funny. Somebody was saying that they looked up the friendship between two people and AI responded that they were so close they went to each other's funerals. This world. I got to shout out Tammy Yo. Hey, cuz I don't know if that's like dirty. I'm like saying it in my mind. I don't hear anything. I've fallen for a lot of those like names that can you shut up, Mike? HAWK, I've fallen for that like twice. Problems with hibernation. I was scared to wash my belly button until I was 12. My fingers will still have a slight stink to them after grazing it every now and then. That's pretty funny. Problem. All the women before the most recent ones that played as Morticia on Addams Family are so beautiful. Oh yes, Diamond. Yeah, yes, definitely. The woman who played Scarlett O'Hara, Vivian Lee, she was beautiful. So many beautiful old Hollywood. And Karini Allure is a channel who does a lot of actresses from every era, but I've learned a lot from her. She has great content. I want to say there's somebody else that does content like that. I can't think of right now, but like Karini Allure, I love her. If you guys don't know who she is, she makes some of the best content on YouTube. She has like two channels. She makes great content. I'm just a ghost in the machine offering healing strategies, Keithan. Echo likes big noses on women or the Roman arc. Not that you had that at all, just saying that about perspective and beauty. Yeah, Echo. I do have a bump to my nose. I don't know if it's considered the Roman arc. I'm like Colombian, quarter Colombian, and that's the side of the family I get it from. But like totally, like beauty standards have changed. It used to be a good thing to have a bump in your nose. At one point in time, it was like a good thing to have a boyish figure. That's another thing I hate. I hate that. I hate that so much. One time I accidentally tried to put on my 12-year-old's even when you are a skinny woman that people think you can wear and try, you look like a 12-year-old boy. You can't fit into 12-year-old. We're built differently, even if you are like a skinny petite woman. But anyways, yeah, it was like I love seeing like the different beauty um, ideals. And now, instead of going from like 50 years every century, it's like literally every decade, every 5 years, there's a new beauty standard. Like, how can anybody keep up with that? The women that were getting the big BBLs, now they're like getting them reduced, or like, they're getting smaller BBLs. Um, yeah, if I was like a millionaire, I've told my husband, like, I would consider getting a fat transfer because I've been like ragged on for having a smaller chest my whole life. But that's I don't know why more women don't do that. It's like you're fat, it's more natural. I don't Maybe more women do it and they don't talk about it, but it just makes more sense to me than having to get implants that have to be replaced. But at the same time, there's still risk with that. And it is there's something so tragic about a woman passing away from trying to get a bigger butt, trying to get bigger boobs, trying to get liposuction, get a different shaped body, get fat removed from her body, especially when it's like mommy makeover. Like that influencer Jackie O. God, it's been like a year or more since she died. Such a beautiful woman. And she wasn't even that far out postpartum. Like, you need to give yourself time to bounce back. Like, you need to give yourself a whole year or more. You got through a 10-month pregnancy. It's gonna take you at least that long to bounce back for most people, I would say, and, like, the women that expect it and, like, it might even take a little bit longer than that, and that's fine. Your body's been through so much, and, like, that really gets to me, and that's part of the reason I don't like plastic surgery. To think of, like, the worst case scenario. Have you guys seen the videos where there's, like, women that went to some country and, like, they're getting on the plane, none of them can sit on their butts because they like, a dozen or 2 dozen of them got BBLs, and they're, like, in horrible pain. They shouldn't even be flying. Scared me so bad. My dog, she left the room. She's like now she's like leaning against the door. My ex-sister-in-law has a little bitty emphasis on the bitty part. She's always been 110 pounds or under with beautiful long black hair and dark eyes, but she grew up in a C-cup babe. She's very um kept woman. Uh I'm jealous of her. You said, uh, and yes, I'm jealous. Yeah, it's like women like that, they did win some kind of genetic lottery, right? Because it's not common, but then that's how we are all supposed to be built. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah, I'm gonna say it one more time, I'm gonna be done. I almost feel for them because of all the plastic surgery, because of you are naturally built like that. You are one of the winners of the genetic lottery. People are gonna assume you got a BBL, you got implants. And we should just like let people and earlier in my life today, I said something about how I don't need lip injection. And I was thinking, man, I don't want anybody to think that I think everybody has to have big lips either. Like the women can be beautiful. That used to be more of a beauty ideal, not having big lips, you know? It used to be a beauty ideal to be pale, fair. That meant you didn't have to work outside and toil in the sun. You had a lot of money and more wealth. And now we all want to be darker. But except for in certain countries, they still want to be more fair. It's just so crazy to me how, some of us are bleaching our skin and then other of us are like trying to put on self tanner. Goddess, I'm a size 5 in jeans and small in blouses. You are a mom, right? Do you get told you look good for your age? Because you sound like you look good for your age. I hate to say that myself. Um, but yeah, that's another thing. Like, also, God made you, so stay you, my channel said. I love how you said that. Yes. I'm not going to show my feet, dog lover. You don't want to see my feet. Every 10 years, women change and follow the next trend. This seems to be the cycle. Rocky, yeah. Oh, thanks, my channel. That's really sweet of you. And no, I'm not AIRIP. You can go and look at, uploaded videos 7 years ago. I will never use AI anything on my channel, just so everybody knows. It's just one of my things. I don't expect that of everybody, but it's just how I feel about it. So you can know I'm never going to use it for anything. According to computer standards, Johnny Depp's ex-wife has a perfect face, Diamond. Are you talking about Amber? Wasn't that her name? Yeah, I could see like the proportion. And then like some of the most beautiful people fall out of all those perfect proportions, right? Like when you're talking about like it's slipping my mind. Isn't it some kind of Greek thing? Oh, she makes perfectly good sense. She actually reads the comments and structures sentences that subscribers are talking about because we talk about different topics. Okay. Thomas, thank you. I hope I do a good enough job. I think I do a good enough job. My channel is growing. I know I'm not for everybody, of course. Nobody is. You missed it. She showed her boots earlier. Didn't I show like 2 pairs of boots? I'm a hot-blooded chick, and I get a fever at 103, or is it ain't you, my baby? We had joy, we had fun, we had seasons in the sun, but the stars that we could reach are just starfish on the beach. I'm old. Is that what you meant? I'm old. Acid burn, that is so funny. You are silly. Oh, my channel, I appreciate you. Thank you. That's really sweet. Well, I'm getting old and I'm losing my beauty. I'm attracted to the Asian women as far as watching K-pop dramas, not in a sexual way. I love watching Singles Inferno. Oh, that's funny, Diamond. You make me laugh. I was just thinking about, I'm not going to say who, but somebody I know once, I just think about this from time to time. She goes, every once in a while, I look up really dark skinned black women in bright colored clothes, not in a sexual way. I just think they're so beautiful. Something I would say. Um, yeah, like people with the most beautiful, well, I shouldn't say that. There's people with, like, really, super dark olive skin tone, like, super fair, it's just, like, the contrast, people can be so beautiful. Yes, I do get that. My kids are 23 and 25. Yeah, that's what I thought God is. I remember people just saying that left and right about my own mom, and it's just like normal to you when it's your mom. Hi, Joseph. How are you doing tonight? My channel. Do you have a channel? My channel, because I like to shout out actual small channels. And if you ever want me to subscribe to your channel, you need to leave a comment on a community post or a video, like a comment, because I can't get to the chat. I need to figure that out. I just keep assuming at one point it will happen and I will be able to re-upload my live chats, but am I just that dense or can I do it? Um, because the chats don't upload. All of YouTube is AI now, personalized just for you, Robertson. That's sad to think about. The Rooker, I have an 18, 16, and 8-year-old, all boys. Mr. Carey said, my oldest son is 24, autistic. Diamond green eyes are just so beautiful, especially on women. Yeah, I both of my parents had green eyes, Diamond. She shit on his bed. Are you talking about Amber? Yeah, I was like, "What are you talking about?" Because I forgot. That is, like, certifiable, isn't it? That's the kind of shit that gives us all a bad name as women. Oh my god, and, like, so I definitely like, she was batshit, right? I'm not sticking up for her. I need to take my light off of my phone. Um, she and that whole relationship is a good example of, like, I don't know, I kinda, like, look at it like he's so much older than her, like, he should have known better, you know what I mean? Like, she's totally responsible for her reprehensible actions. But, like, the way I look at it is like, why would you be with somebody that's, like, so young and crazy? What is going on with him? It's sad. And I understand he had a hard childhood, he had other partners previous partners talk about how he wasn't a violent person. Like, clearly, some people just bring out the worst in others. Good morning. I'm from India. I don't know how I landed here, Azale. Well, I hope you have a good day. I'm getting ready to go to bed. I hope you have a good day. I'm over 95% Scottish acid burn. So, oh wow, acid burn. That's a lot. The goddess, Mr. Carey, I did. I went to a party with my husband. We had to dress in cowboy outfits. Oh, that sounds cute. My husband won't ever dress up on me on Halloween. My channel, God made you to so stay you, and you are so pretty. I love your eyes. Oh, my channel, thank you. That's so nice. Yes, I recognize those song lyrics, Acid Burn. I like older music. I really like Motown. Even old country is better than country nowadays. I think blue eyes are very nice, the clear ones especially, but I don't like dating men with blue eyes. I don't trust them. Hey, gray eyes and a man, and I can't trust him either. Diamond. I said the worst boyfriend I ever had, and I feel bad talking about, like, previous experiences, I really do, but, like, we're all friends here, but, like, I do put myself in like, if my husband had a YouTube channel and he's like, "My ex-girlfriend, da, da, da," I wouldn't love that, so I try to limit it. The worst boyfriend I ever had was, like, in the pretty blue eyes, and it's like he could get away with, literally never, ever, ever being on time, never following through, didn't get me anything for Valentine's Day. I showed up with Three Doors Down album for him for Valentine's Day, and he didn't give me anything. So I was like, "I'm okay. This is my present to myself, I guess." And he's like, "Whatever." Anyways, that's funny, Diamond. There's a lot of guys with blue eyes here in Kentucky, isn't there? Lots of Scottish people. Amber Turd. Yeah, Amber Turd. I came out of Golden Brown thanks to my biracial parents, Sebastian. That sounds nice, Sebastian. Oh, goddess, thank you. You guys are so sweet. You really, you really do this old lady's self-esteem real good. My daughter is my complexion. My son is an olive complexion, goddess said. Yeah, I have, it's funny, my two older sons, like, they tan so well. Like, I hope this doesn't offend anybody. Oh, I'm just gonna say it now that I started. I have to. Sometimes we're like make jokes about how like people probably think they're adopted because they get so dark skinned when they're in the summer. That's not a funny joke. It's not. It wasn't funny because their father could be really dark skinned, but you know what I mean. I feel like we're all together. And thank you. Like the Wednesday Adams, like Thomas. Thank you. My crush used to like me, but I still like him. What do I do? My channel said, "Oh, well." If you don't like each other at the same time, it's not meant to be, you know? If it was meant to be, you would like each other at the same time. And I know I'm simplifying it, but from somebody from the outside looking in, like you really have to be, take rejection as a blessing and move on and find somebody that's not gonna be like that. Hey, Sudan and Palestine are uniting the world. Be part of it. Every human hand should have a hand in healing Sudan and Palestine. Oh, I wish Emerald. Everybody has so many problems of their own, but like I know it's horrible. That Bella girl is supposed to be the most beautiful woman in the world, but she had work done. She's a young model and actress. Are you talking about Bella Hadid, Diamond? She's one of those people, like, when I first saw her, I thought she was so pretty. Like, some women, they're almost like so pretty. I don't know, they're like too pretty. And then, like, the more you see them, they're like, oh. And then I feel like women with more character in their face that aren't like so picture perfect, symmetrically perfect. Those women are the ones you're like, oh yeah, she's pretty. And then like you look at them more and more and you're like, oh, she's just like getting prettier to me, you know? And her sister was the one who got a nose job and said she regretted it because she used to look at herself and see her ancestors and now does not. And I always thought that was super sad. You can't listen to music, unidentified artists. That's sad. But it's true. Women that do have bigger boobs most of the time have a gut and a bigger butt, and when they're on their back, their boobs are okay. I don't know why I started reading that. Not always Thomas. Yeah, I don't want to disparage anybody with natural body, like, um, you know, because you can't help what your body is, right? You just can't help it. Men always, when they grow older, their balls sag, get real wrinkly and saggy, what about it? "Quit asking, is she swallowing? We all swallow water, food, and beverages." Thomas, as Martin Lawrence would say, or you can lick them from the back and between the eye. Okay, Thomas, stop. Mandela, hi, how are you? Nathan, Amber would have done that to anyone. How does Johnny know that she is crazy until it's too late? Well, Johnny is a full-grown man that it says a lot that he would get with somebody that is so young, period. That's how I feel about the age difference should have been the first sign that's like, man, that's truly mature. I don't think he's gonna 10 years. I know I'm not God. In my opinion, 10-ish years. Some couples I can see 20 years. Okay, there's people that genuinely love each other, but like this is more took place in a time when there was like less people. We didn't have the technology. We have to like connect with people. I'll never forget the story I heard where this man was like 25 and he married like a 45-year-old woman like in a small village. This was like in the 1800s. So naturally she died before him, and then he ended up marrying a woman who was like 20 or 30 years younger than him because like there just wasn't that many people around. It makes more sense that there used to be these like age gap relationships and like a quarter of the women died in childbirth and shit like that. Now I think there's like less reason for it. See, I can laugh at myself. The goddess. I'm a Gen X. We never get offended. Back in the day, we were able to discuss anything and no one took offense to it. Yes, goddess. Yes. Yes. um, yeah. And like people like teachers didn't say who they voted for, like people were more polite when it came to their own beliefs. Acid burn, good night. Love you. I hope you sleep well and thanks for sticking through. I still wanted to ask you, like, whatever happened earlier, I'm glad you're back. If you did leave, see, I was just confused because like I couldn't get to your comments, but whatever, it doesn't matter now. Water under the bridge. I appreciate you, Acid Burn. I really do. Thank you so much. Eric, what do you mean? These boys at school, they are like harassing me because I like a boy. They're always like, "Ooh la, he's right there," and they make fun of my teeth. What do I do? Oh, my channel. People make fun of my teeth. I don't know if you're in here. People make fun of my teeth all the time. And it just That's really tough. I really feel for you. Sometimes you have to stand up to the bullies, but like I understand it. You don't like confrontation. You're not going to be like in the moment. The best thing you can do is ignore them, act like they're not there. Be like Mariah Carey is with Jennifer Lopez. Be like, who, what? I don't know her. Um, I think that's your best plan of action. Fendi, hey, how are you, Fendi? I was thinking about you because of this subject. I thought I did a pretty good job. I was just wondering your opinion. Basically, um, I know I'm getting old. I know I'm an old bitch, but there are more disadvantages to pretty privilege. Acid burn, you silly goose. Eric, I'm doing well. How are you? I should go. Do you think the LGBTQ movement could be considered a political belief? It's turning into that, Sebastian. I don't like that. I don't think your sexual affiliation, your sexual preference should be your personality or be part of like your life choices. You know, you should be able to be a part of the LGBTQ and be right or left, whatever the fuck you want, religious or not religious. And it's sad that people, once again, like pigeonhole people. Yeah, I think that's what it's turning into. Fendi said, "Oh yeah, pretty privilege definitely exists." Okay, Fendi. So I'm gonna rattle off my top 10. This is why, and once again, I think that this happens to all women. Any woman with a beating heart, any of these things can happen to, but it happens more so to women who are considered conventionally attractive by society's standards. So like, not everybody's cup of tea, not everybody has the same, beauty is subjective. 10, everyone assumes you have it easier, and they assume that you have more benefits because, that your life is easier because of your looks. 9, you're a moving target for the worst kind of people. This is men and women alike, jealous women, creepy men. 8, making friends is harder, both genders. 7, you get taken less seriously at work during job interviews in certain circumstances, not always, not 100% of the time. 6, you get treated unfairly at work by customers if you work in a customer relations job, and employees alike. 5, people zero in on flaws and are more likely to point them out, thinking you can take it because you probably get called pretty so much. They freely comment on your appearance. This even happens with medical professionals. That was another point I made. I listed as number 2. You get treated differently by medical staff. Number 4, I'm bouncing around. You get followed, physically followed more often. 3, and I mean like how many men have been followed home from work? I've been followed home from work like 3 or 4 times as a teenager. I was a young girl and probably wouldn't follow this old bitch home now, would you? But um number 1. Okay, number 3, get more attention, negative attention, antagonizing behavior, like the people that say the transgender comments, people that are constantly saying, "You look like you're 50 years old, you look like you're 60 years old." There's somebody in here earlier that like kept doing it over and over and over, and I wasn't responding because like they really think that they're like gonna get to me so bad. It's so obvious, I'm not that old. That's why you keep saying it over and over, trying to get a rise out of me. And, like, that whole this kinda ties into it. Number 1, it starts around 11 years old. You, kinda lose out on a lot of childhood. Literally 11 years old, you're having men try to push you into public bathrooms, men following you around, catcalling you, telling you to come back when you're 18, full-grown men. And this is why a lot of women are jaded, and it's not a good reason, but it is. This is why so many women are so rude to men. I don't think that we should treat our fellow human beings rudely ever, but I'm just saying this is a reason why. Acid burn, thank you. Why do you think that girls 19 to 30 would only date me for 3 weeks and break up with me and never see them again? 33 of them. NFL, that they're having my children and not telling me that's so crazy. I don't know what NFL stands for, acid burn. Can you fill me in on that? Um, well, this is how I feel about it, okay? And you asked me as a friend, you're the common denominator here, you know? When it comes to the same thing happening over and over again, it's not the other people that are the I don't want to say issue, but it's not what the other people you need to look at as much as like your patterns and behavior. The actress from This Is Us is plus size and she's very beautiful. I don't know who you're talking about. Cindy, I don't know what you're talking about. I need to go. Football. Lost. Burn, you are so awesome. Thank you for supporting the channel, Mr. Carey said. It was an accident and I didn't catch it, NFL. Yeah, I know it was an accident. Is it just added to the 33 of them that they were having my children and not telling me? That's so crazy. So do you have babies out there? I think you left me a comment like that before. Do you know? Do you have kids? That would be so wild to me as a man. And I've said that to my husband before. Like, you we he I'm not the only woman he's ever been with. I'm like, "You could have other babies." He's like, "I really don't think I have any kids out there," but it's just, crazy to think about. Hi, Albert Smith. How many, of you have family members how many of you have found cousins on 23andMe? How many of them are the, like, woman having illegitimate children or the man? You know what I mean? I guess it could be kinda hard for a woman to have a child in secret. Yeah, we have a few cousins. We didn't know about. Also, God made you one person to stay that person. Yes, I agree, my channel. I'd say I'm more on the attractive side for a guy, but don't date much. I'm not exactly very sociable, but back in college, it might be easier to get to know women, the Rooker said. Yeah, there's probably pretty privilege. There's attractive person privilege for any attractive person, right? And I, I think women have it worse. And I know you're not trying to say anything, Ricker, in particular about men, but it's just the way that we're like smaller and more vulnerable, and you just get gone after more uh, by women and men alike, because women are vicious psychologically. Hey, I just thought I was having fun with them, as the burn said. Yeah, but what you're saying about them 33 getting pregnant, you're the common denominator. I don't know how else to say that, but I'm not trying to say they were all willing participants. I'm not saying anything bad about you, like you took advantage. I'm just saying you're talking about them, but it's like, well, what about you? And I don't mean this towards you, but like it is true. Like, why are the women always the ones like I've never heard you say anything bad about single mothers, so I don't mean this about you, Burn, but why are women always blamed for being single mothers when it's somebody else 50% of the fault? Happy birthday, Ayla. Did I say that right? Ayla? Oh, Ayla. What TV shows are you watching? Are you into right now? Diamond, I seriously just listen to YouTube. Like, I don't do TV shows. It's kind of bad. My attention span is so bad. I have a hard time like reading 20 pages of a book with my kid or hi Matt, how are you? I decided if I become 100 billionaire, I'm going to have a DNA test and any of them can come and I'll give them $1 million. Ignore Corey. Okay. I'm 99% sure I don't have a kid out there, but there's always that 1%, right? Okay, I'm starting to sweat in my sweater and I don't want to be inappropriate and take off my this is a little shirt. Tim, I'm getting ready to go. How are you doing tonight, Tim? Got no D discipline, huh? My 43-year-old daughter, I didn't even know she existed till she was 7 years old. My neighbor saw her in her newspaper. She looks as much like me. She knew exactly that she was my child. Oh, acid burn. Sad. Oh, I've got 10%. I need to go. I'm watching the new season of Netflix Squid Games, and there's a guy on there who was over 120 siblings through in vitro. They have a group on Facebook for them to talk, etc. I have heard of Squid Games a lot. Like that would be one show that I would try to watch. Like so many people have talked about that the past few years. See, let's the grandmother comment. The the men, I just couldn't imagine my husband getting in a YouTube live and like disparaging a woman. Where does that come from? When was the last time you got laid? You can't have gotten laid anytime recently, right? I mean, like, and this is why we need to help people find partners. It would benefit us all. There'd be less trolls in the chat. We could all just chill out better. What would be the biggest age you got for? Mine was 7 years. I dated a woman 7 years older than me, and it was a little weird. The biggest age gap, Thomas. Um, you guys don't want to hear that. It's gross because I was 18 years old, um, groomed by a parent who said, your college is a fuck farm. You might as well go make money. You're doing it. Everybody just fucks around in college anyways. And it was like constant rhetoric like that in my head. And I ended up becoming a sugar babe, aka a glorified prostitute. Um, 30 years. I'm sorry, but why do women always try to play men who's been single appearance when it takes two? That's what I'm saying, it's 2, like, I don't mean to make it sound like it's all the men's fault, it's 50 that's why I said it's 50% his fault, but it's, like, always 100% blamed on the woman. High body count, always blamed on the woman. Situation I was just talking about, you can be an 18-year-old girl, working 2 jobs with a parent that's not working, that's telling literally, like, I don't wanna go into detail, but, like, it is still your fault, even though the guy that could be your father, who is taking advantage of the situation that you come from a background where no woman does that. No woman does that unless she's destitute. No woman does that unless she is in dire need. No woman that has done things, any sex work. No woman that's stripped like Cardi B. She doesn't go and strip for fun. No woman does sell themselves for recreational sports. And, we wanna act like it's, like, this empowering thing. It's not, and that's why I speak out about it. I don't have to. Nobody has to know that about me. There is absolutely no proof. Nobody's out there trying to, like, tell people about it. I'm very transparent about it because I feel like we're all specks of dust. I'm gonna be dead sooner than later anyways, and, like, I really think that I would help more people than I would not being open about this, and, uh it's pretty sick. It's like a different lifetime when I'm talking about it. It's like not the person I am at all. I'm sorry, but why do women always try to play? Men who've been single up oh, I read that already. I'm so sorry, Robin. But yeah, it's both people who create the baby. I don't know, Ben. Tim, Lydia, I'm good. I'm sorry for missing your live stream earlier. Don't be sorry, Tim. Don't ever be sorry for that. TWC, how are you? I have a friend, but she has a crush, but he's rude to me sometimes, so I stick up for myself. Is that good? Yeah, just be the bigger person and try never to stoop to that person's level. You know what I mean? It might be easy to like if they say something about your looks, like say something mean back to him about his looks a bit like it's completely fine to stick up for yourself. Just try to be the bigger person. You can never go wrong. No, I don't like that Typhon exit only. Yeah, there is a Netflix show, A Man with 1,000 Kids because of in vitro. Yeah, that's wild, Diamond. So I feel a certain way about this, and I don't want to step on any toes because I understand. I think there should be really strict regulations. I don't think they should just like let anybody I'm sorry, I just don't think they should let anybody, like, donate sperm, have sperm, donate eggs, use them, yeah, have a surrogate. This woman, Shannon Rose, if you guys don't know who that is, she's a former adult actress and was like, she squished animals and like a fetish thing. And so she was in like the surrogate drama, and it just brings up a lot of issues. It's like, I don't think that it's ethical to but I understand it at the same time. I think if I was in that situation where it was my only way to have children, I would do it if I had the money, no questions asked. So, like, I can't blame people that do it. I cover this case. Carmen Sandiego on the case. I don't know why I said that. It just sounded so funny. The people were found out they lived in like a mansion in California and they had like, I don't know how many kids, guys. Gosh, wasn't it like 20 some kids? And like, it was like this couple that was just getting all these children through surrogacy. And it was seemingly set up like maybe they were at some kind of some ring going on where you walked into their house. It was like a hotel with a receptionist. And there was like rooms with tons of cribs. Oh, they were found out because one of the babies was severely injured. I almost forgot. One of the babies was shaken by one of the nannies they had to have because they had so many children. And I'm like, oh, we didn't know that these people were getting like surrogate after surrogate after surrogate after baby after baby after baby. They just wanted a large family. Oh, it's so creepy to think about how many people are doing like that guy that Oprah pushed them John. I don't want to say what I was going to say in case I'm thinking of the wrong name, but that guy in Brazil that ended up having like a human farm. Just think about how, like, that is happening, always happening, maybe not sell themselves, but there are women I knew that would sleep with all my guy friends. Don't be sorry, Tim. That's really sad, Sebastian. No, that's the same thing as I was talking about. Maybe that's a connection you were making. No woman is extremely promiscuous just for, there's a reason for that. She is desperate. She is destitute. She is seeking something. You know what I mean? And yeah, same thing with sex work. I'm sorry. I know people, I don't mean to like, I'm open about my past. Yeah, it is safer. It is safer when you're, like, just taking pictures or the webcam or a stripper. I do understand that, but it's all bad and it's all detrimental, I think. And it should be shared only with the person you love. And I know once again, like, some people may be like, "Oh, you're sitting here talking about your sex life, and that's, like, raunchy and wrong." And I understand that you can think that, you don't have to listen. You see that movie where the guy had over 400 children because he was a donator? It's funny. I didn't see a movie about that. I've heard of a few cases. There's been a few doctors, right? It's like the guys working at the in vitro clinics themselves, or I couldn't imagine. Could you imagine thinking it was like your child, your husband's child, or even some donor you picked out and then realized that is what kind of betrayal is that, man? I think it happened because women felt very first man not come into their life most time when it did not grow up with a good father figure start to this, but this is what my belief is. Right, Robin. And then sometimes your father figure is the one who pushes you into it. But I do agree. Most women, they do have issues from their past. They do have drug issues. If not, they're going to develop them, most likely, or alcohol or some kind of coping mechanism. If I were a woman, I'd keep my eggs. I've heard it's pretty brutal getting them taken out. Oh, thank you, Tim. No, Ben, Leon. There's this teacher, my science teacher. I don't know if she likes me. I always say good morning, but she doesn't say anything back. It makes me feel sad because I am also like, thank you. She's just like, oh, well, some people are like that, my channel. Barely anybody's like that in Kentucky. You can't take it personally, especially if you notice a pattern. It's definitely not you. I wouldn't say. I didn't, and Diamond didn't, and Lydia didn't, and it shows Asperger got a comment deleted. I looked after Asperger and said, what are you saying, Mr. Carey? Is somebody doing something? Do we have a ghost mod? My kid is still up. He needs to go to bed. I tap on my phone, I watch it TV, and it doesn't show up in the TV. Lydia doesn't see it, even though it shows it went on my phone. It was so weird for me to think about people watching me on a TV. Fendi, damn, she didn't give you none. How rude. Um, Hi from Scotland, Peter McLaughlin. Cool. Hey, Peter, how are you? Who didn't give who any? Okay. Yeah, I had to turn that light off after a few hours. I'll have a headache like all day tomorrow. My phone gets hot. Sebastian, I have talked about this before. Are there a lot of racist people in Kentucky? I don't think it's the way that people think it is. I've lived in California, Florida, Indiana, and people always have these negative connotations about Kentucky every time I ever told them I'm from here. And I've even had people that lived here, like coworkers, tell me that they thought too. Like this one man, black man, he's from Cincinnati, and his family's like, "Why are you moving to Kentucky? There's a bunch of racists in Kentucky." It's like, "We're your neighbors." Yes, there are some communities where, I think I looked it up, and there's technically 2 sundown towns, which I was surprised too. And I know sundown towns doesn't necessarily mean to this day they're, like, running people out of town, but it's definitely, something to take into consideration. I wouldn't wanna live in a place that used to be a sundown town if I was any color, honestly, but, like, it's not as bad as people think it is. I don't think it's any more than anywhere else. I actually think people are really laid back and accepting here. I'm just gonna say it, more so than they are in some other southern states. And then we get a bad rap, like, we're like that South. It's really where, like, the South starts, and I'm not trying to be dismissive of anybody's experiences, but most people say Kentucky is full of friendly people. I just clipped a YouTuber that was saying that like he was surprised when he went to Kentucky how friendly everybody was here. And I think it's kind of where the hospitality of the South starts, but it's also still progressive. Yeah, it's a good way to describe it. More so than you would think. Okay, there's these really rural areas that are not progressive at all. It's like you're going back in time, and I kind of like that. But even in a lot of these areas, like Cave City, I've talked about, it's like back in the '90s. I really don't think there's a bunch of racist people there. I actually, the places we patrons, there was like a lot of black people, and it doesn't matter. I hate even saying that. There's a lot of black people in Kentucky, even in the small towns. There's a lot of Hispanic people, even in the small towns. Diamond lives way far out east. Diamond said there is a lot of racism, or I put a lot in your mouth. Yes, there is racism. I think where people like have been, I hate to say stagnant, but like people that have stayed in the same area. If there's a county where per capita less people have ever left that county or moved out of that county in their lives, they're more likely to look down on outsiders or anything different. And yeah, that includes racism. And so if you lawn jockeys doing Instacart that yeah, no, almost felt like going and kicking them over. Isn't there sundown towns? Um, we're unfriendly down here in the Southwest, Fandy said. Well, like I said, I just looked this up recently and saw 2 sundown towns. This was just a quick Google I don't know for certain, but I was a little surprised. Then again, I'm gonna be honest. I was so I shouldn't even say this when I'm too honest. I didn't know we had slaves here until I was like in my 30s, and I thought I knew a lot about history. I was like, what? I thought it started in Tennessee. Oh my gosh. But Kentucky is where, Kentucky is interesting because there was so much Union and Confederate trying to fight for the same territory because we're like, once again, where the North and the South meets. Well, sure. Even in my state of Oregon, we'd have smaller towns that have white supremacists, but it's rare. In my opinion, I think there's more racists in Indiana. The Ku Klux Klan headquarters, like they'll fight over which town it's in, but it's definitely in Indiana somewhere, right? Can't tell you how many times people ask me why my hair was so dark and if I speak Mexican. Well, sure. Even, oh, I already read that. David Steed, you suck. As a brown man, I've been to a lot of small town in Oregon and I've never experienced racism that I noticed. Oh, that's nice to hear, Sebastian. Good. A lot of people that are truly good Christians exist here. I think a lot of Christians are extremists and they're not good people, but they're still like good-hearted people that genuinely look past differences, I feel like. And there's something about people just like overall living with less that lends to a good kind of atmosphere that I like, but I don't like people being poor and destitute. I don't mean it like that. Thomas, oh yeah, because you came from Los Angeles, didn't you? It must have been scary living in a big city like that. No, I lived in it was like a half hour away from the border, like Escondido, California, not a really big place. And that was only for like less than a year when I was a child, but I kept going back to visit. And then I lived in Miami, I've lived in Orlando, Louisville. Those are the biggest cities I've lived in. A lot of people in Arizona do not like Californians. That's funny, Fendi. The same shit happens around here. It's like people in Indiana are like, oh, Kentuckians. Like, it's so silly. And it's like, we're all Americans. Bill, the lawn jockeys used to be for tying horses too. I don't know whoever made it a racist thing. Um, and Bill, even when I saw them, I was thinking like I think so many people are so nice around here. I like to think those people aren't meaning it as racist, but I was always taught like those are no. Yes, Sebastian, speak Mexican. Now, the town where people ask me why my hair is so dark, most people have dark hair. You look more native than anything, Chris said. Oh, that's so cool, Chris. I didn't get a DNA test, but my sister did, and it was like native Colombian. Then again, what is all Hispanic people have some natives in them, right? Hey, you still got words that's being blocked. Acid burn, I'm sorry. I must not have clicked like save, or I couldn't imagine. I know I can trust Mr. Carey and Diamond and Jory, and I have Tony as a mod. Anyways, I was married to a Native woman in Canada. Oh, Chris, that's cool. Sorry it didn't work out for whatever reason. I am back for a little bit, Billy said. That's cool. Acid burn. Woo, thank you again. Oh my God, I like totally, I hearted it and I didn't, hey, okay. I didn't say thank you. I just read what you said. I promise I'll check that. Jay, calm down. Jay wants me to calm down. I'm gonna take Jay's advice. I'm gonna calm all the way down and put my ass to bed. I'm gonna wash my old lady face. I'm gonna clean all the makeup out of my fine lines and wrinkles because that's what really makes them worse, is not washing your face and letting like makeup and dirt sit in there. So I'm gonna go take care of that. What else am I gonna do? I'm gonna brush my yellow teeth. I'm gonna floss my yellow teeth. I'm gonna Oh, I'm gonna take my bra off my little bitty boobs. How do you define what is native? What does that even mean if you think about it, Native Americans and just Chinese people? Zaire, I've had these thoughts myself, Zaire. They didn't have a box for me until like the last 5 years because I'm like a quarter Hispanic. And like literally when you are filling out paperwork, it'll be like Hispanic, not Caucasian. It'll be like Caucasian, not Hispanic. Like there wasn't a box, but what about people that are both? And what is Hispanic, right? Why it's just interesting to me, and people don't get like the subtleties of like exactly what that means. That means you have Spanish or Portuguese, right? Like you have some kind of European mixed with native. My husband is, I guess I can just say what he is. Yaqui Indian is from Mexico. Is a native of Mexico. His grandma, you can tell, Yaqui Indian. Looking at her face, looking at his face, even you can see it. And we kept calling him Mexican. And then a few years ago, I'm like, you know what? You're native. You're not Mexican. Which there's nothing wrong with being Mexican. You know what I mean? But it's just funny how we like misconstrue stuff like that, right? And I think part of that is done on purpose because if you are girl on the period, not blocked the S word, sent a joke and it got blocked. Girls from West Virginia. I don't. Fendi. Let me look. I don't like them either because they come and drive up the rent and housing prices. Is that the comment you wanted me to see, Fendi? Um, yeah, it's really our government, it's the people at the top, it's their fault for letting our communities get ran over and resources taken from us. Sarah, that's really sweet. Sarah said Jesus loves you. Thank you, Sarah. Bluegill cooked up so easy. Oh, that sounds nice. Acid burn. I think you look more Scottish than anything else, Diamond. That's funny. I am a lot of Irish. Thomas, yeah, the doctor that impregnated like 35 women and he got arrested and shit. That's fucking nuts. So, oh, I couldn't imagine. I swear, some men really do have like a breeding kink where like obviously that's the thing. I don't think I'm saying anything new, but it's really wild to think about. I just couldn't imagine. I just picture a seahorse just like have all these babies. Just even seahorses work harder at it. And I couldn't imagine that being what you want to do with your life. The peeps that were in NA before anyone. Good night, Bill. I hope you sleep well. Bill said, I love Mexican people. I have many friends that are Mexican. Yes, there's even when I talk about like the small town in Indiana had a lot of immigrants, they didn't bring up the crime rate. Like, there's like more population. There's like they're good people. They are the stereotypes for a reason, good hardworking people. And it's just a shame how we're pitted against each other. Daddy issues, the broken families, attention seekers. Look at me, look at me. I need validation because I never had it as a young person type of person. A lot of people are like that. Sarah said, John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son that whoever believes in him should not perish but have eternal life. So even though I'm not religious, I'm not Christian myself, I think it's a beautiful thing when people are nice and kind about it and want to bring God to other people, want to bring the love for God, from God. I appreciate that, Sarah. I appreciate all you guys, and no matter what you think about my strong opinions, I feel really blessed to be able to be with you guys. I mean that from the bottom of my heart. The monetization is like icing on the cake. Of course, it's like really nice. And I said I wasn't going to go live that much, and now I'm starting to like go live more. But Zaire said, my mother is native Irish French and looks almost exactly like you, by the way. Oh, I was going to say that sounds like a cool combination. Zaire, I am mostly English Irish. My mom is like English Irish, but has some Cherokee Indian in there too. And then even some Portuguese. Both of my parents have Portuguese, um, which I thought was interesting. And they're both RH negative with green eyes. So English, Irish, and then my dad is Colombian and Swiss. So the German Swiss side. But yeah, I love that about America. We're such a beautiful melting pot. We don't have the advantages of being a homogenous country, and we never will, because there are advantages to being homogenous. There just are. Oh, acid burn. You stop it. When I was 9 years old, I asked God to come into my heart, and the wind comes through my window, a bottle of wind, and it went into my heart. And I don't believe that there's a God. I know there is a God. That's really beautiful, acid burn. See, I've had experiences like that, and nothing happened to me. I'm like, "Well, show me." And that's what I kinda feel about I don't know, that's really sweet, acid burn. I believe you. I think that's great, and thank you for sharing. It reminds me of, like, when people say they, like, hear God, and that's what, like, I was kinda waiting for, like, some kinda testimony moment where it could be like, "Okay, yeah, I'm a Christian now because Jesus came to me," or an angel, or, whatever, God's voice said something to me, and I was just like, "Why can't you prove it to me?" But I've definitely had moments where I felt what you're talking about, where it like, no questions asked. Yes, that we are a part of something else. There's a higher power. I'm from the USA, Mayank, unfortunately. Bill, good night, lady. I love you, and I love the things you talk about, and you keep doing what you're doing. God bless you. Bill, thank you. Oh, Bill has a channel. And Bill, I'm so sorry. Bill has a cool channel. If you're interested in like, he has some cool gardening content. He plays his harmonica a little bit. Bill has a fun channel for anybody that likes to support small channels. What's a sun downtown? I'm from Canada. I don't know what it is, Thomas. Are you talking about what it is, like the definition of a? I thought you were talking what are the ones in Kentucky. I thought is what you were asking me. Um, Back in the day, oh god, I don't know if this is like Jim Crow or even since then, but like racist people would try to keep black people out of the whole town. And they would have this rule where like they would run them out at sundown, meaning you're not allowed to be out in the streets. You're not allowed to live here, period. But you're definitely not allowed to like visit here, be out after sundown. You might get lynched or some crazy shit like that. It's absolutely horrible. I take racism very seriously. I don't think a lot of people grew up with people teaching them about like the civil rights movement and everything everybody went through and segregation and you asked God to come into your heart when he got ran through by 300 dudes. When he got ran through, you asked God to come into your heart when he got ran through by 300. What are you talking about? God got ran through by 300 dudes? You guys are so emotional and hysterical. You don't even know what you're typing. Um, no, definitely not 300. That is so sad. I have 30 square foot of gravel for sale if you're keen. Have a lovely night, Lydia. Sleep well. Sebastian, you too. It was nice talking to you, Sebastian. Did you hear about the geomagnetic storm? I never hear about any of this shit. And I never heard about the solar stuff, the comets. Um, I got my electric generator plugged in. Fendi, I think you can appreciate this. Somebody earlier said, "You must be conservative. You don't speak with the chicken hands or the bird hands." That's what it's called, right? Bird hands. I know you know what that is. Yes, I mean, Fendi, look at Acid Burn's name. You got to have the face of a child. You know how children believe everything. Um, SM, are you talking about in relation to me talking about losing pretty privilege and like what exactly pretty privilege is and how I feel like it's not a privilege overall, basically? Um, Hellflation comes from, supply and demand. You guys I'm sorry, you guys provide the demand. Women are just here to supply. If you didn't demand so much smut, there wouldn't be, if you didn't demand the easy access for any kind of reciprocity of and this is like bad men. I'm not talking about women. You know, play games with women and string them along. I can't do any magic tricks. No. I hope everybody has a good night. I've been telling you all this time about the comments, the sun going crazy. Yes, you have acid burn. You have. Okay, so I saw last night in some parts of Tennessee, the freaking aurora borealis, the northern lights was visible, and maybe I want to like look out my window right now, and maybe tonight. Have you guys heard about that? And is it going to be like super late? I should look it up. I was so mad. I really want to see those. I'd give anything to see you smoke a cigarette. That would be so sexy. Sober son of God. You kill me. I've got my vapes. I've got two. And I really try not to go to so I don't have any more old lady wrinkles. I like not like that. And like and the older they get, the more you do have to like suck down and purse your lips. I don't like that. So anyways, same thing with straws, like be careful how much you do that with your lips. Well, the women only, because we're the only ones that aren't allowed to show any sign of aging. I'll never forget Posh Spice. As a young girl who loved Spice Girls, her talking about how she didn't smile because she didn't want to age. It was like, what? We knew back then that that was ridiculous. I am not going to shave my hair, study point, but I am going to cut it soon. And I was seriously thinking about doing it on live because I've cut my hair a lot before. So I thought that might be a fun live. You know what I mean? Um, Two vapes and one brain cell. Roscoe, I'm not going to tell you how old I am since you just said that. I'm assuming the next thing you're going to say is 50 or 60. I didn't get to see the Northern Lights either, Diamond said. That sucks. Kayla said, I can't wait to have gray hair. Yeah, Kayla, I like it. I don't mind it. I am going to dye it soon. But it looks like highlights. And my husband has said that before. It's like tinsel in your hair. Hey, Lydia, I got a question for you. If a man is over 30, does he have to let the hose go? Fendi, it depends on what kind of man you are. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. Personally, I don't think it's healthy to live like that at any life, at any age. But yeah, it really depends. Most men can't do that past 30. You know what I mean? Most men can't get away with it unless they're what people would call high value men. I will increase the amount if you shave. I love this. Women honestly don't age well, in my opinion, is why most men move on to their next family around 35 or so. Cesarean is order. Yeah, at the very beginning, I opened this up, and I'm going to end this on this too. I think it's a good way to bring it full circle. When before I dyed my hair initially, because I have dyed it once before since I started turning white, I asked my husband what he thought about me dyeing my hair and how I felt about it. And he looked at me and he said, with tears in his eyes, "When I look at you and I see your white hair, I don't see you getting older. I see all of the years that we've spent together." And yeah, I put him through some hell. So that might have been part of it. But, that's what true love is. We're not all gonna stay the same. And I said this earlier, yeah, men do tend to age better. I will give you that. There's something about maybe like a lot of us, even if we don't have babies, just a cycle, the constant cycle our body is going through and shedding blood from a certain organ. I mean, it almost kind of makes sense to me that we might age more somewhat. It also plays a lot of ethnicity has to do with it. My mom is a blonde. She was born with red hair and had like lighter hair later, and she would say that blondes don't age as well, which I think that everybody's different. I think it's completely possible for blondes to age well, but I think melanin helps. So the more melanin you have, that black don't crack is a saying for a reason. Um, but women's beauty is so beautiful, and I think when you make a bond with somebody, who is it? Pierce Brosnan? Am I saying the right? His wife is absolutely beautiful. You guys know what I'm talking about? He's been with the same woman for like 30 years, one of the longest lasting marriages in Hollywood. And she gained some weight. I think she carried it well too. She's a beautiful woman at every size, like absolutely beautiful. And Peel just still like giving her shit so much. And like he's a great husband. You can tell he loves her with all his heart. Acid Bird, I hope you have a good night. Thank you for all your support. Once again, you can get your money back from Google. Anybody that ever wants to get money back, I no hard feelings. I feel bad. Like I appreciate it. It really helps me out a ton. But like I just also want you to know it's not obligatory. Is that a word? Obligationary. Well, if you think about it, Genghis Khan is related to what, like three-fourths of the world's population is from Mongolia. So as the generations went down, Thomas, I want to see where you're going with that. Your husband deserved that medal. Men should not be shamed for going after 18 or 19-year-olds once we become middle age. Okay, you're just like trying to like troll me now. No, you should be shamed for wanting a child because if you were a true man, you wouldn't need to go after a child. I think that's the most simpleton behavior of them all. Like have to stoop to a level of somebody that's in a completely different life arena that knows nothing about life. That would be boring to me. That would be weird. I guess you don't care about somebody having any life experience, but if you were mature, like I don't think he's a great person, but I just think it was like Jeff Bezos, he married a woman who was age appropriate. He could have had an 18-year-old every 10 years, be with a new 18-year-old. Some people don't want that. Some people want a person who's experienced the same things they have, who they had genuine conversations with. True black don't crack, but we can and do internally if we do not keep up with ourselves. Yeah, Kayla, definitely, for sure. Yeah. Um, you look like a 4, but being skinny makes you a 6. See, this is pretty privilege right here in action. Once again, disclaimer, I don't think that I'm like super pretty. I used to be prettier when I was younger, and that's why I like getting shit on instead of just getting like constant trying to get a piece of me left and right. Or like then women acting like I want to like jump in their trunk, go home and fuck their husband or something. I don't know what it is with women that think because you're an attractive woman, you want to take everybody's husband. We're not all Ariana Grande, you know? Show us your brown recluse. Okay, seriously. I appreciate everybody. Oh, acid burn. I hope everybody sleeps well. Cesarion wants to let everybody know that he thinks children are more attractive physically because you basically are attracted to children if you're only attracted to 18-year-olds. That's how I feel about it. You're one step away from being a, whato. And it's not completely your fault because of the way everything is set up in our society. Like I get it, but I mean it is your fault when you're a full grown man and you're going around talking about how 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive. And it's kind of like, um, because you are so stuck on appearances and that's the only value you place on women, you think that you're going to somehow do something by like saying that to another woman, but you need to understand not everybody's perspective is your own, and not everybody really cares what your dick gets hard over. Like, some of us genuinely don't want to make your dick hard. Live with it. And our lives don't revolve around that. Hey, you see my picture? That's when the sun go through that G5 storm. Oh no, that's kind of scary. 18-year-old is 1 day away from being a child. So me as a fully formed human being that's actually mature for my age at 38, like I see an 18-year-old, I see a child. I have an 18-year-old actually. They are children. 18-year-olds are annoying, Sebastian said. See, like fully grown men, that's how I would feel too. If I was single, I couldn't imagine getting with somebody that was more than 10 years. I couldn't imagine getting with a man that was more than 2 or 3 years younger than me, honestly. I couldn't. For a man and a woman, 10 years, because we are so much more emotionally mature on average. Even so, a man in his 30s, like I don't think you are well-rounded person if you want to be with an 18-year-old, and you're not going to get on my nerves by saying anything like that. And we've hit the wall by 30 years old. Yes, Cesarius and I talked about like all of this briefly, and then the whole point is, it, now that we do have the internet and the ability to connect, and we don't have to be forced to look at the same media where, like in movies, like the men are allowed to be 40, 50, 60, but their wives are always 28 years old. No matter how old the guy is, the woman's in her late 20s and can never age past 30. And these, things that we see. And then, but when you live in real life, you have a real life. And I think the men that are the most happy and fulfilled, or if I could speak for him, men like my husband, and they're definitely not on the internet trying to make it a point, trying to like put women in their place for aging. Because I already cried in this live about people I've known who died young, and nobody's going to make me feel anything but good about aging. So 18-year-old a child now, what the fuck, 15-year-old single moms, LMAO. David, that doesn't mean they're not children too, though. They're children when they're 15, even if they have a baby. It's babies having babies. That's unfortunate. Peter Perez, how are you? And it's really bad for your body. Around 19 years old, maybe 18, yeah, it's really bad for you to get pregnant, give birth under 18, just like physically. Lucky Kentucky's Father's Cabin House Place Holiday Christmas. Oh, Chucky, here with Chucky. Chucky, are you AI? At your alpaca's farm, are they going west? Their farm's machine spins so it makes years to you grow up. Photo birth. Oh, Sergio. I don't like being called baby. That's like, I tend to be more attracted to men who are younger than me. I think it's because of the mental stuff, whether it's trauma or not, I don't know, and I have more in common with them. Um, yeah, that's cool. TE, emotional basket case. My wife is menopausal. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you saying I'm an emotional basket case or your wife? I saw this guy. He was talking about how, and he didn't know perimenopause. He couldn't think of the word, and he's like, "I'm sick of it. I can't take this." And talking about his wife having hot flashes, and he's like about to leave his wife of like 18 years because of hot flash. Um, Thanks, big white op. The person who I love is 9 years younger than me, but he passed away. I'm so sorry, Diamond. I'm so sorry to hear that. 141 likes. I know, Mr. Carey. That's pretty crazy. Maybe test yourself for depression and mental health issues. I didn't know you could test yourself for that. I thought that that would be a horrible thing to self-diagnose. Self-test is, guess isn't the same. Oh, big white op, stop it. I am very happy fulfilled because I have many relationships with young women. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, I know your type. My aha moment with God, I had a brain aneurysm that was a tumor, and they had to do surgery. They took three-fourths of it out, and they couldn't take the other quarter, or I would lose motor skills for. Oh, Thomas, I'm so sorry to hear you've been through that, and I'm glad you came out the other side. Older women are more experienced and more knowledgeable, Philly said. Right. The only thing they aren't, I think a lot of these people, like they want they think they're more agreeable, but it's funny. It's because like you want a child who is like barely informed consent because they don't even know what the fuck is going on. I'd rather be with the adult that like knows more, and I would feel like I was taking advantage of a teenager. Growing up, though, I always had more older friends. Yeah, Diamond, I had a lot of older friends too. if people my age, well, I had people friends of all ages, and my stepsisters were like 2 years younger than me, and my sister was a year older than me. Kayla, dude, date your 18-year-olds. Why is he so bad on letting people know that? I know, right? It was like this guy I had to block the other day in the chat that was like, I put my finger to their lips and I tell them to shh. And it's like just going on and on about how like, but he's like single. And at a certain point, I'm like, I don't mean this against any single people. And it's like the way he was talking was like he's unlocked the key to dealing with women. And I'm like, you are single though, right? Like, what is your point? Because like you're sitting at home, you have no woman sitting next to you that you can like put your finger on her lips and tell her to shush or whatever, and there's a reason for that. It's I want my women to be impressionable and not argue or voice opinions. You want a child, cesareanism. And I know you probably, honestly, you probably don't get anybody. Tuna, what I can't believe the amount of male humans in here advocating for whatever they're even trying to yeah, Tuna, it won't let me show your comment for some reason. Must have deleted it. At the end of the day, I think benefit of having a long-time partner is truly knowing one another. Long-time partner. Yes, Sebastian. Yeah, especially if you build up in life, you have a bunch of money and resources. I don't know how you can trust anybody. Tom is my left hand, so they left it in my brain. And then when I did a CAT scan, like your fine motor skills in your left hand, 2 months after the surgery, the neurosurgeon was like, "It's gone. We don't know how it got there. We don't know how it left." Oh, Thomas, that is so interesting. Hi, Rob. How are you? Thank you, Luce. Thank you, Acid Burn. Okay, guys. I'm gonna look at your comments one more time, Fendi, and then it's like, is this is freaking me out. I have been looking at all the chats. Yeah, they getting annoying as fuck. And you really got that. What you really got in common with a girl that's 18? What is going on? I need to go look at my banned words because I know I didn't see that. Nah, girls that age are immature as fuck. I didn't see that. But then hey, Lydia, I got a question for you. If a man is over 30, does he have to let the hose go? That came through. I read that. What the hell is going on? I'm sorry, guys. Like I said, I thought like I deleted all, I have no banned words right now. I do have it on like restricted mode, but I didn't think that was that serious. It like will hold things for review, but like your comments just aren't showing up. Guys have to deal with girls not knowing stuff, no matter what age. Wally Wilson, ditto. Jeez Louise. I mean, like, I really don't like making it like one versus the other. I know it comes down to that. Like, we're okay, so women are more advanced as like literal babies and toddlers. We start talking first. I'm an autism mom, and I know I get it. Okay, can't help it. When your kids start to talk, usually you can't, unless you're like completely neglectful. But like girls are more, like we said, like the teenage girls are known to be more is like childhood, like girls are more mature. At what point do we become less mature than men? At what point? Because all the way through childhood and adolescence, we're known to be more mature than men. But at some point, we stop developing and you gain this emotional intelligence. When and where does this happen? I'm sorry to all the good men because I know that humans are humans and some people they're just shitty people, but like in general, like we can all agree with that. It's just true. Like girls talk before boys. It's like a known thing, generalizing everything, right? So at what point do women become so much less intelligent and so much less than like can somebody tell me exactly when? Anyways, 18, 19 is fresh out of high school. Yes, Vandy. I just think it's and I know this person probably kiss from Colombia. Oh, that's so nice. I'm a quarter Colombian. Dine Zidane. Cali is where my grandma immigrated from. I was an a-hole banging girls left and right, but once I got married, everything changed. My wife is my world, and having her makes life better. I think everyone should have someone. Boxing fans. I remember you boxing fans. Almost knocked my shit over. Oh my god, I love stretch marks on women. Yes, please, Kayla said. Um, yeah, I think that if that's what you want, like it really is the best, and like you shouldn't go through shit just so you have like the little honeymoon phase, but like when you go through a rough patch and then you realize like and we got back together after the last time we were separated, we lived in separate places. I had my own apartment for 13 months. This is before our third child was born. Or I even conceived him. Um, where was I going with that? Oh my god, you guys. I'm so sorry. Where was I going with that? Um, Good men leave mediocre relationships. Yeah, some good men do TE. That can be true. How come no women Genesis in recorded history? I don't know exactly what you mean by that, Scott Schwartz. I'm so mad at myself that I totally lost my train of thought. I should go. I'm like all over the place. Midnight. Oh my gosh, you like turtles? I like turtles too. Thank Sandy, that's so sweet. Thank you. Salvo, I was talking about getting older as you age, and you don't look as pretty by most people's standards. That I just wanted to put that as a title because I knew if I like talk about what I really was talking about was like why I don't think pretty privilege is so much of a privilege. All the things that come with it that aren't so grand. And have like a shit ton of trolls coming in here, like SK talking about how I look old, I'm not that pretty, whatever. And it's mixed in there with all the comments talking about my beautiful green eyes and shit. And like, anyways, I disagree completely. Women leave guys or cheat, especially in good relationships. Well, Wally, like all of this happens, yes. We could sit around and go back and forth about like things, anecdotal evidence from any side, but you know, the the best thing we can do is talk about what we can do to move forward and be best. And communication is key. But issue is there's no more trust. There's this feeling that everyone outside of a small few friends are out there to exploit you. A lot of my guy friends feel that way. It's kind of sad. Better today. I'm so sorry. Do you think social media has to do with that? That is so sad. And it's like this attitude. I see it perpetuated. I made a live about it recently. I don't think it's right to like tell women, don't stay at home unless he can pay you a salary. Like only stay at home unless that man can provide you with like a whole savings account in case things go south. And I just think that is so sad because for so many reasons, but like it's just that kind of attitude that alone says a lot about like the conversations taking place and like kind of feminist, what you would call like feminist spaces, but still, like they're saying, like if you want to, if you desire a relationship with a man, do it like this. And it's so detrimental. I think it's so wrong. It's horrible. Oh, Sandy. I think social media has destroyed relationship expectations, Salvo said. Definitely. I think it's done a lot of damage to women and the attention that they get from it. Just like rewiring their brains. The Genghis Khan thing about how you said Spanish people are Chinese or native or whatever. It's like the skin tones. Oh, okay. I think I get what you mean. Acid burn, look, see, it was held for review, and then I could click it. See what I mean? That's how they should be. The worst thing for a guy is to be a nice guy and be kind. Most people don't grow past teenagers, and girls mostly want to be bad. Wally, so I'm married to a nice guy, but I do understand what you're saying. Have seen it a lot that it seems like there's people who enjoy the toxicity and like, yeah, nice guys don't get the girlfriend, but then this guy that like starts fights everywhere he goes, he gets a girlfriend. So I do get it. I've seen it myself too. You're back, Game Boy. Yes, Homer, it really is. I'm gonna donate. How much should I donate? J Dog, you don't have to donate anything. I'm going to bed now, so you can't. I'd be worried that you constantly just stream of conscious and never actually listen. Mm. Okay, for real. Thank you, Mr. Carey. Thank you, everybody. I love you all. I hope that everybody sleeps well. I want to be back on here tomorrow. I'm not going to guarantee it, but my goal is definitely no Saturday night. I definitely ain't no nice guy, Fendi. Fendi, I think you are though. I think you are in the way that you're supposed to be. But I get what you guys are saying. You know what? I want to make a live soon that's gonna be about systemic simping, like the real problems that I see. I think that simp thing is kind of silly, but I think the instances where we should be talking about it, it seems like men don't. Why don't you talk about how women get less prison time for the exact same crimes as men? That's systemic simping, women getting favored. Even like I do understand it, but it still doesn't make it right in divorce court, family court. What else? I had a third point. No, I forget. Acid burn. Thank you for the dollar. I'd say you're 7 or 8 every day of the week with your personality, your bright glow, and your smile. I'd like to eat crackers in bed. The crackers in bed threw me off. Love you, Game Boy. That is so funny, Thomas. You are so funny. Cam Bam, what is something you love about yourself? Oh, that's way to put me on the spot. I guess I love that I love to love. I'm like a golden retriever. I really am. I love people, and I know that some people get like they don't like it, but I don't care. Women want a man who tells it how it is and is authentic, not a simp or nice guy whose whole mood is dependent on a girl. That's a good way to say it, ghosting. You need to be like your whole person outside of that, right? And I said this in my simp thing, it's like, not women, men need to learn they can't negotiate attraction. Those kind of men. My neighbor Gary called me a fatso yesterday. Well, fuck Gary, Michael. Um, and Sebastian said Gary is base. Okay, I like a more nice voice, but I'm more attracted to manly men. There's something about like not when he gets mad at me, but like when my husband's mad, it can be kind of sexy. So I do kind of get it. Even the nice guys when he's like, it's like, yeah, usually it's about like he's doing a project and something's not going right, and he's like it's okay, honey, you're like doing this all on your own. Like, you can like just learn something from YouTube videos and do perfectly at it. Okay. I love you guys. I mean it this time. I'm going. It was nice talking to you. I'm glad I got to talk to you a lot tonight, Diamond. I love you all. I want to say bye.